trying to look up pictures of a 4-piston caliper on Google to see what they look like.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Lot C2 podcast with your hosts, Alex Nash
And Mike Nuccio.
And we are in the midst of some research on some brake parts for Mike's Shelby, because guess what? It's a Ford, so it's broken.
It's broken with less than 15,000 miles. No, it's just the rear wheels keep squeaking. And now, we just get right into that. Changes with our cars. I'm kind of in the midst of researching and doing a rear brake job. I actually just got my pads in today. Some StopTech Z23 carbon fiber ceramic performance pads. That's what the box says.
Ooh.
And I figure if I'm doing the backs, I want to do them once and be done with it. So I'm just going to get some carbon fiber pads that should last, hopefully, for, they'll last long enough to where if I keep the car forever, I'll know it by then. But if I don't, then I'll never have to do them again type thing.
Right.
Back wheels are squeaking. Pull the wheels off. The rotors are pretty scored. The pads have about a millimeter left on them. It's weird, though, because the squeaking or squealing, interchangeable here, doesn't really start until about 5 minutes in or so. Enough time for the brakes to heat up and maybe expand and maybe start making contact or something. They squeak. And it's kind of embarrassing because by the time you drive to a car show or car meet, such as the ones that are all around here always, by the time you roll in, the back wheels are squeaking. So that's the main reason. Also, it's annoying because it does get pretty loud. But I'm hoping this brake job will fix it. Other than that, what else? I'm planning mods, trying to figure out if I need a heat exchanger for when I do a pulley. But we all need to get to the track so I can run the car stock. And then probably that night I'll be ordering pulley and intake and stuff. But
yes, indeed. We do need to get to the track one of these days.
We do. But I think that's really about it in my car. I don't have the rotors in yet. Oh, so let me tell you the whole process, though. So I Google around a bunch, and then I come up in the chat, and I start asking you guys. And then, Nico and Noah, arguably the two most qualified people in there. Generally the reason why I'm asking in the chat are always the two immediately to say Google it, after I did for 2 hours. And I'm just trying to get some final input from them. I ended up with the StopTech pads, and I got a Brembo back rotors, not slotted, not drilled, because they're the backs, so I don't really, need something fancy. But it turns out Brembo makes an OEM Ford size, or whatever, 11.81 inch rotor, and it's an OEM fit for my car, made by Brembo. They were $35 a pop compared to the Ford ones, which were $85.
Wow.
Weird.
That's not bad at all.
Right, and the pads were about 44 or so. And now I had them both in my cart in Rock Auto. Actually, I had the Ford rotors because I didn't even know the Brembo ones existed. I had the Ford rotors and the pads, and it was going to be like $190. And like another hour and a half went by, and I'm like researching, building up on different sites, building up carts on different sites to see what it would be. I ended up getting them off Amazon.
For how much?
So, $130 for the pads and rotors.
Not bad.
So I wasted like 2 hours when I should have just gone straight to Amazon. I didn't even think
but Rock Auto sends you the cool little magnets when you buy from them.
They do, but they do, and I was ready to order from them for like $160 or so until I went to check out, and shipping for the rotors was $12, and shipping for the pads was like $8.
Oh, they didn't ship from the same place?
Nope, and I was trying to put together something on Rock Auto that would ship from the same spot, but there were no combos I could build that I wanted worked like that. There was like one rotor and one set of pads that could ship together, and everything else was separate that
Mm.
I was looking at, unfortunately. But yeah, rotors should be in hopefully so the Thursday at the earliest. So hopefully I can get those on. Um,
Maybe
weather's been
check your e-brake adjustment if that doesn't fix it.
yes, I'll take a look at that. I believe it is in the caliper. I forgot that how e-brake drums are. They're like little tiny baby drums. So I didn't like. I'm pretty sure it's just it's into the caliper though. It looks like there's a spring going into the caliper in the backs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's pretty much it with my car. How are you on E30 yet?
I am on E30.
Ah, I saw in the chat. I saw you mentioning, or was you chat or post? I don't remember.
I posted a video of my launch control, and then
Yes.
earlier I posted a picture of me with the E85 gas pump in my car. So
Oh right.
yes, I'm on E30 now. I have one more tune revision that I need to put on the access port and get that on the car tomorrow. And depending on the data logs, they said that could possibly complete the tune.
And then you'll be at 480 wheel.
Yeah, I wish. Um, I do think I need to look into some stickier tires for the track, but it's been doing it. It really you can feel the difference, especially in the torque on the E30 for sure.
Right. Is that one of the the bigger changes? Is it the torque figure?
Yeah, that and I have very little knowledge of data logs and reading data logs, but I like to look at the knock count for each cylinder. So on the 93 tune, I would get like a max knock count of 2, which isn't, I mean, that's nothing to worry about, but, it exists. And
Right.
with E30, I've gotten 1 like very sparsely. Like it's much more resistant to knock, which is cool.
Right. So does that? Oh man, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Does that up compression at all, or how does that work?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously it ups the octane
Right. So
because
it's later detonation.
I don't know what octane E85 is.
Well, what
Uh,
did you just because you tested? What did it come out to when you tested
yeah,
yours?
I tested it 2 weeks ago. Uh, you people get crazy with testing it. I'm not gonna test it every week.
Right. Maybe like
Because
once a month or so.
yeah, I don't think the ethanol content is gonna change over the course of a week.
Right.
But yeah, I tested it and it came out to either E82 or E83, so pretty close.
Oh yeah, it's not bad at all.
And
All right.
there's a little mixing calculator that I use online. You enter like, all fuel has 10% ethanol, so you put that in. E30 is your desired mix. You put in like your gas tank capacity, and then you enter a couple other things like the percentage that your fuel tank is at, which you can see on the access port.
Ooh.
And then it tells you how much E85 to put in and how much 93 to put in to achieve the E30 mix.
Yeah, I like all that number crunching stuff. Now, I'm sure Sam loves when you're sitting there on your phone looking up and running numbers and then filling your car up from two different pumps.
No, she hasn't been.
Oh.
The first time I got really crazy with it and I pushed it to the next pump. The other times I've been like, this is stupid, and it's not going to hurt the car to run it for 5 seconds on straight E85.
Right, actually, because I was just thinking about that. Right, because you have to move it. I mean, you could always just sit on the starter and just have it roll forward. But
No.
like when I snap my
And I don't even
clutch.
know if I can do that because mine's a push button start.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have no idea. Not a clue. Those
But
push buttons.
I'm not gonna I'm not going to do that anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Plus, at this point, I've already got like, little tiny amounts of E30 in the tank. So I usually just put the E85 in first, and then I top it off the rest of the way with 93.
Then you pick it up and shake it around a little bit and put it back down, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I pick up the edge of the car, shake it around, and
Just
set it back
swish it
down.
around a bit, and then
No, but I do let it mix around in the tank for a little bit before I go and do pulls or anything.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's definitely like, and I wish the turbo wasn't so small because it's so torquey down low. Like, when the boost comes on, like, it hits hard down low.
Yeah, the
But,
Econo turbos.
yeah. So
Eco Turbo.
It's fun. I'm excited to see what it's going to run at the track. And then I feel like I got to tell my WRX story here really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apart from that, nothing has changed with the car. I keep putting off putting the catch can on, but I got to put it on, and I got to get the track. And depending on how the intake valves look when I pull the intake off to do the catch can, probably should look into getting those walnut blasted.
All right.
I know people say that it's easy to do by yourself, but I don't want to run the risk of getting carbon into my combustion chamber by accident.
Oh, that's a good worry to
Yeah,
have.
so that's not one that I'm going to screw around with by myself.
Well, I guess I'm actually on Byron's site right now, just kind of looking what they have.
The other thing, I've just been looking into some minor cosmetic stuff. I think I'm going to do like some yellow vinyl on the fog lights, some tinted vinyl on the rear reflectors, and then I still got to plasti dip my wheels.
Yeah.
I've also been looking into
And I'm
tail lights lately. I really like those Spec D, like the black tail lights.
They like LED.
Yeah, they're expensive though.
How much?
I want to say that it's like $300 for the pair.
It's not bad. I mean, that's like what they are for my car. Anything that doesn't look like a stock one
Yeah,
is...
see, but I'm just not focused on spending that kind of money on that stuff at this
Right. But I mean,
would look sweet.
it really
though.
depends what you're looking for. That's the thing. It depends what you're looking for, because the first thing people notice about a car usually is how it looks, and then how it sounds, or those could be interchangeable. But it's up to you if you think people are gonna, if you want that appearance. It's kind of why I want to get new taillights for my car, as much as the stock ones. But no, I feel you there. They are expensive. But I've almost pulled the trigger on them a few times, but it's kind of like,
Yeah. I've been pretty close as well, but I want to see if I'm going to need to get this walnut blasting done first.
Walnut blasting.
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, my car has direct injection, which means the injectors inject fuel directly into the engine instead of through like a fuel rail that blasts it onto the intake valves. Therefore, your intake valves are not being cleaned by fuel, which means they are much more prone to carbon buildup. So every now and then, it's a good idea to get them. They go in and they basically sandblast them, but the media they use is walnut shells, and it cleans the carbon off, and then obviously they have a vacuum going the entire time to vacuum everything up so it doesn't go into the engine. It's a pretty cool procedure, and I mean I can see how it wouldn't be that difficult, but you have to have the engine at top dead center, or else you're gonna have a bunch of crap going into your cylinders. So I would rather not risk doing that.
Yeah, that is nerve-wracking.
And our cars, Focus STs, are pretty prone to that carbon buildup. I know a lot of German cars need walnut blasting every now and then. I would assume Mazda Speed 3s and 6s are kind of the same way because they're direct injection. And it's the reason why a lot of ST guys run an aux fuel setup or meth. Because that way you've got fuel going in through your intake manifold, and it helps keep the valves a little cleaner.
That makes sense. That's a good point. Engine cleanliness of your engine, because like I was talking earlier with the brakes, and I thought maybe the brakes were installed improperly last time, which is why both back rotors are bad. But if the car was on original tires, do you really think anything else was done on it?
Right.
Like that's what I. But with that in mind, like my coolant, I don't know if the coolant in my car is 15 years old, or what the deal is with that.
Right. There's not exactly
And
a way
like,
to test that.
right, and at this point, it's like if I drain it all out, is it still like is damage being done? I know coolant turns acidic with. I've heard age or miles, and I'm not sure which because the car is low miles, but it's really old. So it's like I don't know because I don't want because you've seen what happens with coolant. Sits for a while, like it's like white and crusty.
Right.
And it's like, is all that stuff just inside my engine now forever, or like what would I do here?
I'd say when in doubt, change it.
Right, and so I've been looking that up too, and I found a few things that say when you pull your like radiator hose and drain it all, you're really only getting about 80% of it. And then cars that have like superchargers, it's less because coolant can collect up and in around like in the intercooler, and it can sit in the engine. And I'm not entirely sure how blowers are cooled. I don't know if it's like around the passage of the body, but I think coolant can also sit in there. So it seems like the only way to do it, and especially if I am on original coolant, would be to get the system flushed professionally. Where they hook up the vacuums and just blow everything completely out to get all of it out.
Right.
I got a quote, $150 from the shop that I can walk to here, so I might just have them do it. Or I might just bring it to Ford, get a quote, because
it's probably going to be cheaper at a shop that is not a dealership.
I would think so too, but I need to make sure they're putting in like Motorcraft Gold or whatever, because
yeah, that's true.
It seems on the forum, like in the forums and all, it seems like coolant type does matter quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying, which isn't really something I gave much thought to with my older cars, because if coolant was low, well, you go buy some 50/50 and throw it in, and I never really gave it any thought. I never had any issues, but.
Well,
with this car specifically, I want to do it right.
Exactly, because you paid so much for it, and plan on keeping it for a while, and it's just better to when in doubt, just make sure you're running the correct stuff, and then it'll be more ensured that it's going to be safe.
Right, exactly. So I mean, I guess if I can get a confirmation that they're using the recommended stuff, then I'll bring it in there. But I guess first off is getting the brakes redone.
Right.
No specific order. Oh, also, something I completely forgot to mention. I installed a dash cam. That's what I did this week.
Ah, yes. There you go.
Front and rear. So far, so good. I haven't checked it yet. I saw a first gen NSX drove by, and I hit the button on it, but I didn't actually go in to see if it recorded it. But it should be there. So I don't know. I could see that. But yes.
Very nice.
Get right into that, but yeah, I saw off the top of my head that I can remember. I saw a red 928, had a custom plate, old guy driving it. He looked cool. A VW thing, this is that orange color, but it had like 70s like style graphics all over the side.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kind of cool. Yeah, that was good. And then I saw the NSX. It was an original NSX, the facelifted model, black.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, muscle cars out the ass because it was like 80 degrees
here. Oh,
yeah,
it was so nice.
2 days this week. Yeah, so there was stuff everywhere. I mean, it was like every stoplight was like a car show going on. But yes, that is all I can recall. Saw that orange GT350 again. Oh yeah,
Parked in
that's it.
that guy's
Okay,
driveway.
I should have. I should just like back it up
No, I
and be like,
meant
"You want to
not
trade?"
you, Mike. I
Oh,
meant the orange one.
yeah, same one. Sitting there in the driveway, water spots all over it. Got rained on. Was just sitting there.
It'd be funny if you just pulled
So
into his driveway and took a picture next to it.
yeah, honestly, that would
The
be
hell you think
hilarious.
you're
You probably
doing,
like,
son?
yeah, but you got to say that with like a lawyer, doctor yelling speak. Can you yell in illegible writing? But yeah, no. These houses are the houses that you can see elevators from the
That's
outside.
so nuts. We don't have anything like that in Belvedere. I mean, that I know
We
of.
don't. Yeah. Well, I don't know. These were here. You have to go like into the gated community and then like go like way back into it, and then like some of these houses have like stone staircases going up to the double front doors with the chandelier under the pillared overhang. It's yeah,
I
man.
could totally picture that. That's like you described it out of a novel or something.
Yeah, that was weird. I just kept going and it kept coming
You
out
should
right.
be a book writer.
I should do a book. How to buy slow
How to
cars
think random thoughts and translate them into literature. The
and
Doug DeMuro
improvisation.
story.
Sometimes I just start a sentence and hope I find it along the
Dude, did
way.
you see how butthurt all those people were when I posted that Blackwood? One of my spots, by the way, Saturday, saw a Lincoln Blackwood, something I never thought I would see in the wild. Go research the Lincoln Blackwood if you want to see a true modern American failure. But I posted it on CPCS, and did you see how, like, all those people in the comments, they're all like, he's a cuck, like, you know.
Yeah, I saw it early on, and I think I saw a comment with people being like, "Oh, it's an F-150 with some shit on it," and it's like, yeah,
I saw
okay,
and I noticed like all the people that were irritated had like Eastern European names, and then I thought of like how he slammed those Eastern European cars in his reviews. I was like, "Oh, maybe that has
oh
something to do with it."
yeah, yeah. Like, why do people get mad? Like, he calls like the Lada and stuff crap
It
because
is.
yeah, just because that was the only thing in one country like 45 years ago doesn't mean it was good.
Right.
Like, you can be proud of having crap. That's fine. People like Yugos here, and those are crap. Like he got shit for the Yugo video too as well, in
Oh,
addition
you
to
mean the car that couldn't
um
even make it over a hill?
yeah. And like if you go to those videos, they always have a lot of dislikes. I mean, a lot as in like 1,000 compared to 20,000 likes, but
Eh,
yeah, I don't get it. Like that's the whole appeal. People watch those videos because those cars are crap and they want to see. Like it's a form of endearment. You're not going
right.
out and buying a brand new 1980 Lada
But
or whatever.
anyway, spots. I saw that at the same place. That was at the Target off of 88 by that North Aurora, like that huge dealership
Yeah.
thing. Also,
Yep.
there was a whatever gen after yours GT500 and
Um,
a pair of
I mean, just like the newer body
yeah.
style. Same engine as mine.
It
Well,
might have been. I don't know
aluminum
what year
block.
it was.
Yeah, it was a 5.4 unless it had the ring taillights and the open front grille. Then it's a 5.8.
I don't think it had the open front grille.
Yeah, probably a 5.4.
But also there were a pair of mall crawler Jeeps that literally looked identical, like down to all the stupid crap on the front with the angry eyes and, you know, the tires and whatnot.
Yep.
I'm so sick of those
They all
damn
have 'em.
things.
Dude, and they're multiplying. Like the amount of angry eyes. And I saw, oh my god, I saw the one that had like the entire angry front fascia swap. It was white, so it was already like, well, you're not off-roading in a white Jeep. And then it had 2 full-size light bars on top.
Because
like-
literally why?
And try not to be insensitive here, but man, boy, did I have some words and a caption on the Snapchat that I sent of that thing. Like, wow, it was. It like
And
my eyes melted and receded into my skull, and I threw up.
and
I could not stop throwing up. My interior was filled with chunks.
And speaking of that
Of
sort of
just-
imagery, I also saw a lifted dually Cummins with like huge. It's like those dually wheels that are like thin, but they're large. You know,
Were they chrome?
I can't remember what color they were. They were like blue or something, and the truck was like gray.
Oh,
And
okay. The chrome ones are the worst, but yeah, colored ones
it was
probably not. Yeah.
it was quite the sight, and that was I went Hot Wheels hunting with Mikey this weekend, and we ended up in Indiana, and that was where I saw that. The trip to Indiana was kind of a fail, but man, we went to this
As it usually.
we went
is.
to this toy store in, you know where Crete is?
Yeah, yeah.
We went to this
actually, I
toy
do.
store there, dude. The amount of Hot Wheels they had, like if we bought everything that we wanted, we probably could have spent hundreds of dollars easily, because they had a lot of like the rare, like treasure hunt ones all along the walls and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
Still have not found the RS2. Still have not found the Mercedes 500E. Still don't have a black Cyclone. So if anyone has any of those things, give them to me. But
Give on threat of violence.
we did find some good stuff there. Can't remember everything that we found, but found some good stuff there. And those were the 2 days that I saw the most spots. Mostly Saturday. Sunday I saw a probably mid to late 70s-ish Trans Am. Or no, it was earlier than that. It was probably like an early 70s Trans Am. I don't know the exact year it was. I was driving.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, I'm trying to think what else we saw. Mikey had to drop his Miata head off at a machine shop, and there was a Mark III Supra sitting there. A Regal from the 80s that had a 305 in it, but the guy was going to LS swap it. And something 70s under a cover, but I didn't take the cover off. I'm trying to think what else we saw. I think we saw
Gotcha.
we saw a Porsche on the highway of some sort. I think it was a 911 something or other. Oh, and we saw a Mach-E. First time I've seen a Mach-E in the wild.
Oh, Mache. Yeah, they're all out there. I saw. Can't even list. I forgot. I'm remembering some more. I saw a new NSX. That's one I can remember. Here, hold on. I was actually. You mentioned third gen Supras, and those used to always be cheap. So I'm looking them up. They're still cheap.
The turbo ones
Look
are
at
not
this.
quite as cheap.
It's like 14 grand for a Mark III turbo.
Yeah.
Um,
Non-turbo ones are
Look-
significantly cheaper than that.
Look at this Mark IV I found when searching.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. Just look at this body kit.
And then I gotta tell my
probably
Subaru story. Oh,
right.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is probably the worst Mark IV I've ever seen. I want to leave it. I want to email the dealer and just be like, "This is the worst looking Supra I've ever seen." It looks like a 370Z GTR style front end. It looks horrible. And like, Look at
It's
that
a
front
it's a
end shot.
top
Go to,
secret body kit. Those are actually pretty rare.
well, they're top fucking
No, I
garbage
know
looking.
they don't look cool to me, but they're pretty rare. They were a big thing back in like the 90s, I want to say. But God, are they ugly. 75 grand for a car with 105,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
I don't care how
Um,
rare that body kit is. Ugh.
I mean, they're like all
The
this
rear
price. Shit,
fenders don't
like,
look that bad, but when you get to the back end, it just looks awful.
yeah, the back end is
I
not
like it from the
pleasant.
sides. The side profile looks
Uh,
cool to me. The front and the rear do not look that cool to me.
I
Looks like a
can't
third gen
stand.
Eclipse almost.
I can't stand those headlights. I think those are just some of like the worst looking
Yeah, those look
of
weird.
headlights that were put on by somebody else aftermarket. Those are probably the worst things they could have done. I know it goes with the body kit, but my god, does that look terrible.
Yeah, all the JDM fanboys would go crazy over that one. If I'm thinking of the right car, the original top secret,
Top super.
the original top secret Supra had a V12 swapped into it.
Was that that? Oh, I didn't realize this is a right-hand drive one imported. Was that the? Who was the guy that had the gold
Smoky
one? That
Nagata.
like, yeah, the like the biggest outlaw in
Yeah.
the car world
Yep,
or
that's
whatever.
him. That's the top secret Supra. I think. I think. JDM people will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do like that one. I like the graphics. That was actually the design for this Slapjack, who I just learned his name in Too Fast, Too Furious. He's the guy who drives the gold Supra in the first
Mm-hmm.
race. They based that one off of that car. Oh, before we get into that, I'm gonna this Craig Lieberman on YouTube. I don't know if I mentioned him last time. This was the guy that worked with the Universal Pictures for Fast and Furious 1 and
Yeah,
2.
I
They found out about him, yeah, because he had his yellow Supra at a car meet, and which eventually was rebuilt into the orange Supra from the first movie.
same with the
And he has a
R34.
yes, one of the R34s was his, um, and he had the Nissan Maxima from the first movie, the blue one, was his daily driver when he needed one after modding his Supra. He had a Supra and he had an R34 Blackbird, right? But anyway, I'd say check him out on YouTube. This dude is awesome. Has a ton of videos on almost every car from the first two movies. Goes into depth about builds about the cars. There's Windows, not shutting the hell up. Yeah, I would say check Craig Lieberman out on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. He has some good stuff if you're into the first two Fast and Furious movies, and a little bit of Tokyo Drift as well. But yes, all
Yeah,
right.
you sent me that
Move
video
on.
of him talking about how Brian's car was almost an SRT4.
Yes, in the was it the second movie? I think they
Imagine an SRT4 being the same price as an R34 Skyline.
oh my god. So right, you know how in like all Fast and Furious movies now, all the normal cars they drive are
Mm-hmm.
Dodge, Charger this, Charger that, because Dodge gives them a ton of money. Well, they were doing that back then, and they wanted the car to be an SRT4, and Craig Lieberman was like, "No, that is not happening," and then like talked him into the Skyline. But yeah, Brian almost drove an SRT4 in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Wouldn't that be something?
Makes me want to throw up.
Anyway, I know this has been going on for forever, but I gotta tell the WRX thing. I'll read it. I'll
Fire
read it
away.
straight off of Facebook. So, our buddy
Sure.
Jim McJunkin, who some of you might know, he's a CPCS admin. But we've been friends with him for a few years now. He shared something
Yep.
on Facebook. It was this photo that said Apple proposes 13 new emoji to represent people with disabilities, and one of them was the ST logo, just like, hardy har, you drive an ST, blah blah blah. So then this kid comes on he's one of Jim's friends, and he owns a Subaru. He knows Jim from the Subaru page. He says STs are trash. Ford's version of a neon SRT4. So then we start getting into it. And I say, I'll just kind of read back and forth, like alternating between my comments and then his. So I go,
Yeah.
says the dude with a bug-eye WRX, because in his cover photo, he had a silver bug-eye WRX. And then he goes, used to have a bug-eye. He put this little gif that says tissue. Then I said, tissue for who? Sounds like you're the one that got walked by STs and SRT4s. Not once. Laughing, like crying laughing emojis. For you to continue to comment back shows me you've gotten smoked by probably a Sentra and a few Civics. Go play with your Ford and try again when you drive a real car. I replied twice. Never seen a dude who owned a damn bug-eye WRX, which are junk, so butthurt about an ST. Keyword bub, owned. ST have trash transmission and look sluggish and can't perform. This coming from the guy who owned a bug-eye WRX. WRX would stomp that thing reliable. In a dig. And then he said, like I said, comment when you have a real performance car, not some junk Ford with a keychain turbo. So then I said, think you have the other way around. I think you have that the other way around, pal. And you drive. So here's the real performance car that this kid drives. A 2013 WRX with a JDM swap and a few other goodies. So then I said, that's
a direct quote.
I said, that's a real performance car, but an ST isn't? And then he said, hell no. SMH, read up on actual performance cars. You drive a Focus. It's a glorified Focus that's front-wheel drive and can't perform at a track. Uh-huh. Talk to me about actual performance when you don't drive a glorified Impreza with a keychain turbo. You don't get to throw stones at an ST when you drive a direct competitor where the only advantage is all-wheel drive, and STs don't need all-wheel drive to do well on the track. And then he says,
your car also makes literally 13 less horsepower.
Right, well, and I love when he talks about trash transmission when stock WRX trannies are literally some of the worst performance car transmissions that have ever existed. And he's like,
yeah.
Like, why is he... I don't get what grounds he has to say that STs suck. And, I mean, we'll get more into the JDM swap in a little bit here. And then he says, I have a keychain turbo. Like, how big is the turbo on your WRX? I guarantee you it's not that much bigger than the one that I have. But that just killed me when he was, right. And then, he somehow thinks that a WRX is an actual performance car, but mine isn't. And I don't get his rationale for that, but I don't know. This kid doesn't exactly seem like the sharpest knife in the drawer.
The sharpest crayon in the lunchbox.
So then he says, problem is, it's still a Ford. Nonetheless, a Focus. They are not direct competitors.
My uncle daddy hated Fords, so I hate Fords too.
They are not direct competitors by any means, SMH. Mine's not your typical glorified Impreza either. I throw stones at the STs because for a performance street car from Ford, it's a poor design, poor transmission and engines. Now I understand the Subaru Boxer engines are notorious for gasket failure, but it depends on a lot of factors. The ST's competitor would be a Neon SRT4 IMO, which came out like almost 10 years before the ST. Yep. Both front-wheel drive, both turbocharged, both roughly around the same horsepower and torque. Unless it's built and built properly, it's just all bark and no bite. Yeah.
I like to see him launch at like $5,000 on a drag strip and not blow something up.
So then I said all the ST's problems are caused by driver error, which they are. They start blowing their engines when people floor it in 6th gear and don't let the turbos cool down, and they get stupid with it. I said higher build quality than Subaru any day of the week, which I firmly believe. Plenty of footage of STs taking down WRXs too. You come at me like you're driving some high-performance car, but it's a WRX.
He's talking like he drives a Caliber SRT4 or something.
So then he goes, not at all. And comparing a built WRX to what? A stock Focus with a muffler and an air intake maybe? Says the person, who has no clue what I drive. They've just seen my car in the pictures. Built STs might achieve more power, but they will always have issues with their transmissions and all the power to the front wheels. I'd like to race your Focus and see for myself personally Ford's turbo performance car actually perform, besides just sound loud. Like this kid wouldn't get stomped by, an RS. Granted, I don't have an RS,
Yeah.
but, come on.
Or like a V6 Mustang with an intake and tune.
So then I said, yup, just an air intake and a muffler. Go ahead and run it. And then Mikus comes in and he says, I'll put 50 down on the Focus. And then, there's a few other comments on here. I told him that we're planning on having a track day. And he's like, if we can set a date, I'm down to go. I'll have another buddy of mine and his STI come out. So, if I beat him, then he can have the STI run me. And he'll be like, oh, see? It's slower than a Subaru.
Your $30,000 Subaru is faster than a $15,000 Ford. I told you it was fast.
But the biggest part that kills me is, so I was doing a little creeping on this guy because, after that whole exchange, he miraculously decides to change his cover photo to one of his new WRX from the bug eye before.
Right.
This JDM swap is not even installed in the car yet. It's sitting at some dude's shop waiting to get this JDM swap. Car's got 47,000 miles on it. And you're telling me that you're already swapping in a JDM engine, which really tells me you or the previous owner did something stupid and blew up your original engine at 47,000 miles.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through and liking all your comments.
So it's like, what? You're going to talk shit, but the engine's not even in your car. You don't know what your car's going to do. You could blow it up the next time you take it out because it wasn't installed properly. This dude's trying to make call-outs and, talk about how much faster he is than me. And it's like, your engine isn't even in your car. I should have said, all right, tomorrow night, let's go. And then he'd have to be like...
Yeah, you're ready to run?
But it just kills me that, no hate against the WRXs out there. But it kills me that, someone with a WRX is going to come at someone with a Focus ST and think they have this supremely better car.
Yeah. I mean, guy has a real punchable face, too, but that's besides the point.
What advantages do you have besides all-wheel drive? I'm not denying that he would get me off the line because, it's all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive.
No, I can't talk coming from a Ford, but, his interior might fall apart during the race and fall out and weight reduction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Especially with the E30 tune and how much, the boost kicks in. I feel like, if this race were to actually happen, I feel like if I could manage to get an okay-ish launch, I could end up catching him as we, row through the gears a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like your car is putting down a lot more than it was when you got it.
It definitely is.
If you can feel it, right. If you can feel it, because, in the quarter, a stock WRX is, a little bit faster. But, if you can feel a difference, then it'll be a good race.
I'm curious to see, what this quote-unquote JDM swap actually entails.
A stock engine from Japan. Well, it's going to be like a Japanese engine that makes less power because it was detuned for Asian markets or something.
I don't know. I don't get it, but
What the hell is JDM swap even? What is
it'd
that?
be like a JDM WRX engine, or I guess if you wanted to, it wouldn't make sense to do that in my opinion. It would make more sense to put a JDM
It's a
STI
waste
engine
of.
in it.
I mean, like, it's a waste of money with shipping overseas. Like, why
Well,
would
I
you
mean,
even?
there's plenty of companies in America that already have the JDM engines, but I mean, why wouldn't you
Like,
just buy an
the
STI
only
at
thing I
that
could see.
point?
Well, right, yeah. If you're already engine swapping a somewhat new car, like, why? I don't know. Doesn't make
From a
sense.
roll, I think you'd get destroyed, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that says rolls only.
Yeah, yeah. We know how those people are.
Like I know I'm
Well,
not going to be able to hook as well as a rear wheel drive car, but I didn't get launch control for nothing.
yeah. I mean, this dude talks as annoying as he looks. So, oh,
Just thought that
jeez.
was a fun little story to share. I got some laughs out of it.
Yeah, I saw the beginnings of it, but I didn't stay tuned. Now I'm going through it, and then there's Jordan trying to set up some races.
Ah, yes, Jordan's always trying to set up some races.
So am I. Also, something I'm looking at though on the Byron site. I don't know if it's just for the early events in the year, but it looks like it's $50 now
Yep, that's how
to
much it
run.
cost at Great Lakes when I went last November.
It's doubled in price since we were in college.
Dude, I know. It's getting a little insane.
Ah, all right. Well, I have to make some good passes. Um, I have still not launched my car once, so I still don't really even know how I'm gonna do that. I am too nervous.
Same. I've used my launch control to make noise, but I have not used it to actually launch.
Right. And now, does your tuner know your intentions of going to the drag strip?
Yeah, he's fully aware. I put it on the
Okay.
information sheet. Like, I was like, I'll mainly be using this for, like, quarter mile.
Right. All right. That's good because prep tracks, you know, as we know, behave differently than the street.
Right.
Like
Well, I
I
mean,
like when I
what was
ran
that
at the meet.
in reference to, like, launching?
Yeah, like when I ran at the meet, the last meet we had, that one little race. I mean, I guess it was the closest thing to a launch I've done, and I bogged the shit out of it on the street. So I don't even know
Well,
where to begin on the
you
track.
can adjust the launch settings.
Oh, right.
So I'm not concerned about that. I'm just going to have to, I'll have to kind of
Well, like getting like a feel of it,
right.
like kind of seeing which way the car's pulling or where in my case, which side the rear end likes to kick out and
I
things
know
like
that when I
that.
was at Great Lakes, when I tried to launch cuz I was trying not to spin and I tried to launch around like 2 and it bogged. So, I think it's going to have to be more than that.
Right. And the thing is with a turbo car, especially, it's like you're not in the boost when you're launching, usually, unless with launch control. I don't know how different that
I'm
is, but it's like,
I'm supposed to have boost by gear now, so I'm hoping that because what would happen before is I would launch, it would bog, and then it would spin when it kicked into boost. So I'm hoping that the boost by gear will eliminate that a little bit.
right. Because I don't, like, do you know if sitting on your rev limiter on your launch control, does that building boost at
It
all, or
builds
is
a
it
little
just
bit of
holding RPM?
boost. I want to say it builds like 7 psi, but it also depends on what RPM you have it set at. So mine's set at like 3,500, and I want to say it builds 7 pounds. I don't think I'm going to launch it that aggressively. I mean, unless I have to. I think I'm going to try around like 2,500 first and go from there.
That's a good idea, right?
Especially with the tires
I
I
guess the,
have. If I can get some stickier
oh,
fronts, it'd
yes,
be a different story.
right. What size are you, by the way? Because I'm pretty sure
235s.
the Pilot Sport. All right.
Why?
I'm pretty sure that they make the yep, right here. You can get some Pilot Sport 4S's in your size. I recommend those. If you're looking for the stickiest street
See, I
tire
was kind of thinking about
summer.
NTO5s.
Well, those are drag radials, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah, I'm not gonna get them like on all four corners. I just want to get like a couple spare wheels for the front and like only use them for when I'm like racing.
Well, yeah, okay. In that case, then yeah, I'd do that. For me, I'm doing the 4S all around. Then I'll probably do, like you said, different set of wheels for the back, some race stars or something, and put like a giant tire on them. But yeah, I don't know. My main thing is I'm nervous of like when I get the revs perfectly and when I hook, like I don't know what's gonna happen. I've never driven a car with that much power, and like, is it gonna hook and just like blow the clutch? Or like, what's? I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah, true.
Let's see if anyone we go with can bring a trailer.
What if we broke? What if we
But
both break though?
put them sideways in the trailer and then
They're
have someone drive
they're
next
like
to us.
hanging half off the edge.
Yeah, they're like sitting on the rockers.
Oh God,
Oh, jeez.
how are we gonna drive them into that position?
That's a good point. You have to like jump them onto it. I don't know.
Would be another reason that I mean, I know for you, you're not closer to home, but Byron is much closer to home for me.
Right.
But
Well, actually, I have AAA, so I would probably be fine.
we won't focus on breaking things right now. We'll remain more optimistic.
Yeah, it'll be good. It should be fine. I mean, I'm on stock power, still a lot, but it's stock.
Anyway,
Man, all right. Well, we just caught up a good time. Told some good stories. I don't even know if we need to do a whole episode now.
right, maybe we should save it. Just keep telling stories here for a little bit.
Have a crew update. Yeah, I mean,
A
we could,
crew update. I don't know.
like they do on the smoking tire.
They'd have to come on and say their piece. I mean, I was hanging out with Mikey on Saturday. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He
Well, yeah. All right. Let's go through the Miata
well,
story.
he bought this so he ended up, and I mean, you know, I'm not going to tell his whole story. I feel like that'd be weird, but he's like really slammed, like hella slammed. Like the first time we went Hot Wheels hunting, I sat in his car. This was after he had destroyed the oil pan. I sat in his car and it's like on the ground. Like you can reach out of the car and put your hand firmly on the pavement and still have your arm bent. Like that's how close it is to the ground. So, like,
Yeah, that would be fun. Not for a daily
no.
though. Well, it's not really his daily, but still.
But it's like no wonder he destroyed his oil pan. But yeah, he destroyed his oil pan. And I don't know how long he ran it without oil, but I mean, I can't fault him for wanting to get a different motor. And I think he wanted to, like, update some stuff anyway. So he goes and he buys
Right.
this.
I don't want to. Yeah, right.
He goes and he buys this parts motor from some guy. I want to say it's like he was like 3 hours away, but I could be quoting the story wrong. And he brings the motor back, starts tearing into it. The whole thing's dicked. Like the crankshaft keyway was messed up. The top end was messed up. Like some of the lobes on the cam were all screwed up, and there was something going
Yeah, I
on with
saw
the
that.
valves. So he basically
Which one had a destroyed? Was that the one with the destroyed
Yeah.
crank?
So basically, he's got a $600 paperweight now. And, you know, he's
Right.
pissed. And I totally understand. I would be too. Because this guy, like. And then, after Mikey already got some money back because of the crankshaft, he contacted the guy again once he found out the top end was destroyed, and this guy had the balls to say that the car ran when the motor was pulled. And it's like, really? With a crankshaft that has a non-existent keyway, somehow it ran.
Yeah, I mean the end of it is like broken off.
Right.
Like the metal is broken. It's not.
So, like, how did that crankshaft pulley get held on there? Don't think it's going to run too well without that.
So instead of that, now it seems like he's going to pull apart and have his original engine rebuilt.
I believe that is the plan. Now, the head that he's getting rebuilt, I don't know if that's the head from the motor that he bought or the head from the original motor.
Right. See, are those dual overhead cam?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know how aggressive of a head you can go on a Miata, but
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but
if you're
it's,
having that,
it's
if the head's off, might as well put something good on it.
yeah, we'll see. I think he's getting tired of people saying that he should K-swap or LS swap it.
Well, see, that's also something. Like, I don't want to tell him how to do his thing. I'll let him do his thing. It's his money. But if I blew an engine or pulled an engine out of a Miata, I probably wouldn't put in an NA Miata engine again. I mean, if that you already have half the work done, might as well get something bigger.
That is true.
You know, it doesn't have to be a V8 or anything.
Or throw a turbo on it.
Yeah, just something like. I mean, the engine's out of the car. Now's the time to like, if you're gonna do something or build an engine, now's the time.
But I mean,
especially if you have a daily.
Right. But on the other hand, I understand wanting to drive it and just wanting it done.
Yeah.
But, I think he's taking the time to make sure that stuff is refreshed and as good as it can be. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's building it, but I think he's definitely going to make sure that nothing like that happens again to the best of anyone's ability.
Right. I'm fairly confident that car indeed will be built someday and make a lot of power probably.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't seem like he's going to get rid of that thing anytime soon, or if ever. Yeah, I know he talked about doing engine raising mounts or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is something I've never thought of, but it makes sense.
They do have them. I think they're more of a stance scene thing, which...
I was going to say, because usually you're lowering your engine to get better weight distribution.
Right. But I guess if your engine's low enough to destroy the oil pan, you might want to raise it up a little bit.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Me and Mike don't really know much about the stance scene. It's not really our cup of tea. Not to speak for you, Mike, but I feel pretty confident in speaking for you on this matter.
No, I think you're well founded in that.
Not trying to rag on it, but just, that's not the scene that we're really into.
Yeah, I'm pricing out some suspension for my car now, but it's going to be so the rear end hooks up.
Yeah, I would like to get some coilovers on the ST at some point.
Yeah, I want to get my car lowered, but
and I would love to get some different wheels on my car at some point as well.
What size wheel? You have
18.
What size are
I
wheels?
think they're 18 by 8.
Take my wheels, 18 by 9.5, and then I'll get 2013 GT500 wheels, so I can get the 6-piston brake swap.
That'd be kind of hilarious.
Be good. Honestly,
put the wider ones up front. Actually,
you should run the track.
What are your specs?
Test it out. My backs are. So this is what I have on them now. Factory sidewalls are going to be 5 millimeters thicker, but as of now, the rear end has 285, 35, 18, and the fronts are 255, 40, 18.
Mine are 235, 40, 18.
235, 18. And that's the front?
All the way around, they're 235, 40, 18.
Gotcha. So that'd be 10 millimeter sidewall drop in the front if you put on my backs onto your front. They're also 9.5 inches wide, so I don't know if it's probably enough room.
285s on the front. I wonder if it would even fit.
We could try it when we go to the strip.
Oh my god. Just like hooks immediately, breaks both axles.
Axles, the trans, the differential.
Everything. Just everything about it.
Just everything about it.
And then you can put the ST wheels on your rear and run with those.
Dude, I would talk about a burnout.
235s on some Yokohama performance all season.
Yeah, dude, I would shred those. I wonder, that's interesting. I wonder how those would compare to my 15-year-old 285 Goodyears.
Yeah, that would be an interesting comparison.
I'd honestly say they'd probably be pretty close.
I like the Yokohamas. They're a good tire for, the type of commute driving that I do. I don't have any complaints about them.
Right. Now, I am not one of those people that when you swap tires, you notice. I don't notice ride difference at all. And I rarely notice handling differences because it's a Mustang, so it doesn't handle. Well, the new ones do. The old ones don't, which is mine. But I don't know. Are you the type of person that can notice ride changes when you swap tires?
I noticed it with the Blizzaks.
Okay, that's fair.
The Blizzaks are much noisier and I wouldn't say a ton harsher, but there's a bit of a difference for sure.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the Blizzaks, that makes sense.
I have no complaints about those either. Those were great tires for the winter.
I've heard good things about them. Nicole used to put those on her old Mustang and just drive it all winter.
Even like, there's some sketchy roads that I have to take to work, like country roads in the wintertime. And I mean, I would still drive carefully, but I never really had an issue in those conditions with the Blizzaks.
Right, I'm sure you ran it through all the tests, the slamming on the brakes, see what happens, flooring it, see what happens.
Yeah,
type
no,
thing.
I did not do that.
You don't slam, you don't like lock up just to see where you can go.
I try not to ever lock up the brakes. I try to just drive carefully.
I mean, like on purpose, so you know, like where the limit is.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
in an emergency.
I guess I should. No, I never did with those.
Like when I would always take out the green peach, I would, while still going down the side street, get up some, like up to like 30, and then like slam on the brakes and just see if it slides, if it, what to expect if I have to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Probably should get in the habit of doing that.
But yeah, that's what I was doing. Oh, I slammed on my brakes for the first time ever in my car.
Oh.
Not like out of alarm or anything. I just my rear end was squeaking, which is funny to say, and so I got up on the highway. I did a pull up to, what's the speed limit around 130? Yeah, I only hit around 120, so it's fine. And then I slammed on the brakes, and I was with my buddy, and both of our ears popped. Like when I did it, and I've never felt that before ever. I've like ridden in race cars, like with Savannah on the track, and those guys hit the brakes hard. My ears never popped until I slammed on the brakes in my car. It was insane.
And now you know why they're squeaking.
Yeah, I can't wait to look up in like 30 years and be like, yeah, if your ears pop under hard braking, you have brain cancer. Gonna find that one out.
I just got a cool notification on my phone, not to detract from the point here. Tonight will be the last sunset before 8 p.m. until August.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's so nice.
Also, when are the Cozy's Corner meets?
Tuesday nights, and they start at around whenever. It's like around 5, but I mean, the weather has to be nice.
If you want to cruise out there sometime, I'm definitely down to go.
Yes, as soon as I'm down, because I didn't stop last time I went when there were like the most people I've ever seen there. It was the first 80-degree day of the year, and it was on a Tuesday, last Tuesday, and there were just it was the fullest I've ever seen. And I'm rolling through, my wheels are squeaking profusely, and then I just went home. I was like so embarrassed just rolling through it.
Oh, I just remembered something else because when you said making noise, I was thinking about that two-step video I put on Facebook.
Oh, the fish.
The fish. Oh, the two
Wait, are you
JZ.
not
No,
talking
I'm
about the
talking
carp?
about the one from my car, not the two JZ fish. Although that video's hilarious.
Oh, okay. Oh, I watched that video when you posted it, and now my YouTube homepage is filled with burnout noise, fish, and other animals.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look into some of those.
Yeah, there's a good one. There's like these two fish banging, and it plays the two Z sounds, and then the fish starts kicking up dust, and it's like perfect timing, and then they like stop banging, and the fish like jolts, and right when he does it, the blow off happens. It's like perfect timing.
That's awesome. Can you send me that?
Yes, I'll try to find it.
So no, but it made me think of this. So the one I posted of my car, Sam's dad recorded that. I was showing him, and I took him for a ride and stuff. And that was it was right after I had gotten my first revision for the E30 tune. And what you have to do, so basically there's two different maps that you switch between for the pump gas and then the E30 tune.
Yeah, that is so cool doing that on the fly.
Yeah, and you do it through the cruise control button, and it like shows you on the tachometer which map slot you're on.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
E30 is on map slot 2, so I had it set there, and then I reflashed it because I had my revision. I turned the car back on, and I was running on E30, doing data logs, doing polls. I took Sam's dad for a ride, and it didn't feel like quite as punchy as I thought it would. So then I get home, and I'm looking at my data logs, and I'm noticing like this weird stuff on there. And then I see on the data log that it was done on map slot 1. I didn't realize that after you reflash the ECU, you have to change your map again. So I was doing all that stuff on E30 on the 93 tune. And I was shitting my pants. Fortunately, I switched it.
If you're doing it that way around, it's not as bad as doing it the other way around.
Correct.
Right?
So that made me feel better. The tuner didn't say anything about it, so that made me feel better. And then I put it on the actual E30 slot, and the data logs looked like they should. So close call, but man, that was a scary few hours. I'm like, did I just ruin my car?
Well, I got a story similar like that.
Okay.
I found out this past week that I've been jacking up my Mustangs the wrong way for 8 years.
How?
I have been putting the jack underneath the what is it? What do you call it? The A-arm on that connects the kind of like the front end of the car to like the chassis of the body itself. They're like the two arms that kind of come straight back from the front and then bolt in kind of right behind the front wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been using those as jack points for with no problems for years.
Right.
I was on a forum just looking up correct jack points for the rear of the car because I needed to pull off the back tires to take a look at them. I was making sure, Ford says not jack it up on the differential, but it's kind of been a thing forever, and it's one of those things that they just say so if someone does crack a differential cover, like being an idiot, then they can't, Ford can't get in trouble for it,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm on the forum, and some guy is talking, and he's like, well, my buddy has a whatever 06 GT or something, and he has a shop by him doing a bunch of work on it, and they're jacking it up on the A-arms, the same spot I was. And he's like, Yeah, look, it bent in the metal and pushed him up and into the body of the car.
Ooh.
And I'm like,
Uh,
so that's a 3,600 pound Mustang GT. My 4,000 pound GT 500 was up on both A arms for a week while I waited for my alternator to come in. So I was pretty nervous. So I got under there and I was feeling around, and I'm pretty sure it's okay. I think it's fine. They say the one thing you notice is your front wheels just go out of alignment. And so far, and like mine are fine. There's no shaking. And the car tracks straight. But man, I had no idea. And I looked at the correct jack points, and they're like under there. Like my jack,
like the
the
frame
handle
rails.
on my, yeah, and they're under there decent bit. And like my jack already barely reached the A arms. And if I do the Ford Performance control arm kit in the back, it's going to lower the car even more.
It'll
So I
look
don't-
good lowered. I don't know why, but the tires look like so small in the back, like tiny, not like thin, but like tiny. You know?
Like sidewall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I looked up like just press reviews and things. They're all like that. I have no idea why. And that's like my 3-valve was stock when I bought it. Both of my 3-valves were stock, and they didn't have that much wheel cap at all. It wasn't even close. I don't know if it's like room to squat.
Yeah, that could
That's
be.
kind of weird. But I mean, if you need that much room to squat, then don't put garbage control arms in it. I don't know.
I need to.
Who knows? Mid 2000s Ford.
I think it's going to be a real fun time installing my traction bar, because supposedly some of those, there's only 4 bolts, but like I think it's the A arm you have to unbolt, and I want to say it's the A arm you have to unbolt, and I've heard that those bolts are quite tight.
Yeah, well, at least in mine, from looking at them, while jacking the car up on them for years, they always seemed like they were in there and pretty much meant to never come out.
Right. The other thing is you're supposed to have.
You can't just,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Honestly, you can't just like slide it over or like thread it through or anything like that.
No. I was gonna say.
Well, your car's a 16 though, so it's not too old.
Right. Well, the other thing is, you're supposed to have like weight put on the car when you do it, so I'm gonna have to get some ramps or something. Because I have metal ramps at my mom's, but they're too high.
Yeah, dude. Same thing, because I have a front splitter now, so I can't use ramps.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Unless
figure
I
something
pull it
out.
off every time.
I'm sure
Right.
they make
And it's like-
lower profile ramps.
But I mean, like, or it'd be cool, like ramps that have like built-in hydraulic jacks. You drive the car up on them and then raise the ramps.
That would be cool. That'd be
We should
super
invent
cool. I wonder if they have anything like that.
I think I have seen something like that. It's like a scissor jack, but it's like a hydraulic type of, like a big hydraulic scissor jack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That. We just came up with $1 million idea. Well, not really, because all cars are going electric and everything, so
Yeah, you'll
it's gonna
still
be
need
impossible.
work done on them.
That's the thing. The longer combustion cars are around, the more people are going to work on them themselves.
Mhm.
So, but getting back at that, you want to split this up? Well, there's not really much car news this week, actually.
Wasn't there something you were gonna bring up? Oh, the
Yes.
the California thing
Yes.
with the electric cars.
Right. And now, when I sent you that post, there was nothing in the title, but now there's a note mentioning that the data is 3 years old
Oh.
and may be misleading.
Little
But-
bit.
It's an interesting topic for conversation here. We got a report from good old Yahoo News that 1 in 5 electric vehicle owners in California switched back to gas because charging their cars is a hassle.
But it's
Now,
interesting because, you mentioned that it was 3 years old or whatever. The whole charging
right,
station thing was probably, even 3 years ago, quite a bit less of an occurrence.
right. The infrastructure and the time since has been going nuts. That's a good point, though. I haven't really noticed any like charging station under construction or like signs or anything, but I just see them like there's a lot of the newer strip malls by me. All the front parking spots have chargers in them now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that especially, the area you live in, the suburbs, they're becoming a lot more rapid. It's like I somehow stumbled upon a 5G map the other day, and it's interesting like, if you start at Western Illinois and like you work your way toward Lake Michigan, like it progressively increases, and there's almost like this like dividing line where like east of it it's just solid 5G coverage because of the city and the suburbs and everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Our state is interesting. Like if you go down far enough south, you start running into some people you can't even understand when they're speaking English.
Well, and it's funny to me because like I've lived around here my entire life. Like anywhere south of I-80 is like southern Illinois to me.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. Me being up near the city, it's like anything like central Illinois and lower is like seems southern to me, but I don't know. You can drive for like 10 minutes and be in cornfields, but
And that's all I grew up with
well,
was cornfields.
right, exactly. Um, but now back onto this. I can actually tie this into you. You would think that before, especially 3 years ago, well, even now, buying an electric car, you're going to be well aware of where you can charge it. Unless now, I did see interesting comments in here in this thread though that these supercharging stations, if your battery is essentially dead, it takes about 40 minutes to charge. So, if you end up at one of these stations and they're packed and you're third in line, well, there goes 2 hours, which I could see being a problem. But I don't know. It's kind of like you didn't see the risks beforehand, and now I could tie that back into you because you're tuning for E30. So you have to be aware of kind of where you're going, and be checking the. I don't remember what the app is called, but there's apps that show you what stations have what.
Gas Buddy shows you what stations have E85.
Oh yeah, things like that. And that's true. And since then, actually, I've something I've looked at. One of the guys I watch on YouTube, the 8-bit guy, he's into 80s, 90s computers, mostly 80s. He had a Bolt or Chevy Bolt or Volt, whichever one of those, and then he bought a Tesla when they came out because he's big into computers. He actually had a first gen TSI or not TSI Talon. He had a first gen like base Talon that in the early mid 2000s he electric swapped it.
Really?
And and you can find like news stories, like TV news stories, like showing him in the car from like the mid 2000s.
Huh.
So he's been into that forever, and he mentioned that there's maps where you can just see, like there are websites now where if you can plan a trip across the entire country, and it'll map out your charging stations and where to stop, and you can like input what car you have, what battery you have, driving style or whatever, and it'll find out where you should stop. And like even 3 years ago, it's like electric cars, like Teslas. I remember seeing Teslas out in. I saw my first Tesla Roadster about 10 years ago now. So
Really?
it's not like. Yeah, actually, I thought the first Tesla I ever saw was a Tesla Roadster when I was in high school.
Oh, duh. I forgot about the Roadsters.
Yeah, the Roadster and then the Model S, and now there's the new Roadster,
Mm-hmm. The
which
old
we haven't
Roadsters. I
seen.
forgot about those.
Have we seen anything of the new Roadster since they announced it alongside that 10,000 foot-pound of torque semi-truck?
I have not seen anything about it, but I don't really keep up to
You
tabs on Tesla news.
Right. I just remember when that came out because all the articles were misquoting the torque figure for the Roadster as 10,000 foot-pounds. And,
God, could you imagine?
like, I you'd be dead. Doesn't matter how much compute. Like, what? Like, your traction limited up until like 10,000 foot-pounds. It doesn't matter if you're doing 170. You're gonna roast the tires. It's literally unusable. I don't know. All-wheel drive. You know, it's like in Forza when you have an all-wheel drive car on the stock tires, like the what is it, Escort Cosworth or whatever.
That thing's rear wheel
I
drive
think
on race tires, though. Unless you
I
changed
think I
it.
all-wheel drive swapped it.
Mine's
Yeah,
rear wheel
I
drive
think
on the
all-wheel.
race tires with the Horizon letters, and it still roasts them in every gear.
Right. It's just like stuff like that. It's like, I mean, all right, the fastest car I've ever driven. I never told any of my valet day stories. Oh man, I have like 5 years of stories from valet. But yeah, I'd say the fastest car I drove out of Ferrari F12, Gallardo Super Formante, 1 of 20 Nismo GTR. Fastest accelerating car I ever drove was a Model S with ludicrous mode. I I was in a parking garage and I like punched it and I heard the wheels spin, but that's all I heard. And the thing just like glued me into the seat. It was insane. Um, Now with that in mind, I would never ever give my car to a valet because I know how we are. So if you value your car and don't want it to be floored, or if you're bored and have a dash cam in there, don't be a dick. Give your car to a valet if you don't care about it, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
So how do we get our
I
hands
just
on
think
one
that
of them?
a Model S
Yeah.
P110D. I work one day at the restaurant that I would used to valet at. I'll just call my old boss, tell him I can work a shift. He'll give me a shift. You can come over, and when I get a Tesla, we'll review it real quick.
Go take it to the drag strip and gap some fools.
Seriously, man, the highway was right next to the place that I worked at, and Friday and Saturday nights you would just hear people ripping all night long. And then I would get off and go to Strats at like midnight. I get there. I get the Strats at like 12:30, and there would be 12 cars left, and I would just go home. I did that a few times. Um, Man, I remember one time. I remember this night because I drove a manual V8 R8, which was cool. Stalled it because the clutch was the lightest clutch I've ever felt in a car like that ever. And man, there was a party going on that night, and at like 9 o'clock, I had one car left, and by like 11:15, that same person was still there, and like Strats was popping that night, and I couldn't get there because this last person. And like I was trying to be nice by waiting for him. I eventually just walked the keys in and gave it to the hostess because it was like 11:30 and they were closing and the guy didn't come to get his car yet. And I'm like, man, I should have just left like 2 hours ago and given them the keys.
Right.
I was so mad. But yeah, the valet thing was fun. It's cool. This guy had a red F12 Berlinetta. I have a video of me revving it. That was nice. That's where I drove my first GT500. It was oh man, I just saw the pictures when I moved all my pictures over. Oh, it was a 11 or 12. I drove an 11 and a 12 at separate times, two different guys, which was weird. They were both black with red stripes, funnily enough, which is the color combo I want.
That would look so good.
But yeah, I remember those were fun. Longest parking job I ever did.
As
Not
you
because
do.
I was parking, because I took it. Yeah, I took it around the block a few times.
See, I wish I would have been a valet, but I mean, cars like that aren't exactly common where I grew up. But I'm trying to think of.
It helped. Yeah, the area helped.
I could probably name all the cool cars I've driven. Like, I'm trying to think. So I drove that that C7 Z06, the Hertz edition.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
was not supposed to have access to that car, but I had access to it.
Didn't she yell at you when you floored it?
No, she was just surprised. No, that thing is the fastest car I've ever driven. I was taking it around neighborhoods, like, getting on it a bit, and I've never felt a car that handled like this car handled. I mean, it felt like a hovercraft. Like
Yeah,
literally just like the most precise, comfortable, like no hesitation with anything. Like it felt like it was one with the road.
right. And that's why I want, at some point, I would like to get a Lotus Exige. Um, because, I want a car that can handle. I want something I could, like, whip around a corner and just, like, oh,
That's
man.
how I felt with this
Because,
thing. I mean, even though they have,
right, it's planted
how much horsepower do those things have with the supercharged LT4?
650.
650? Yeah,
Yeah,
it felt every bit of it. I turned around in a driveway and I just punched it for the hell of it. And, you're up to 40 in like 2 seconds or less or whatever. It's just, it's
right.
insane.
That had, I forgot, is it the ZF 8-speed? Or what? It's an
It was an
8-speed, right?
auto for sure. It probably was an 8-speed, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the ZF 8-speed. I think it is.
Other than
The
that,
same one that Dodge
I haven't
uses.
really driven a whole lot that's like, apart from friends' cars. Like, I drove your old 3-valve. I drove the GT 500. I've driven your dad's Chevelle, like, around the parking lot. I
Right.
drove that 72 Skylark convertible that I've mentioned before. That was fun. And the
Yep.
G-Body Monte Carlo. And the only other thing that I think I've driven that was like interesting was a Grand Marquis, a Panther platform Grand Marquis, like 05-ish. It had
Right.
this was when I was in high school. It had V6 Mustang wheels on it, like the wheels your V6 Mustang had on it. And
Yeah.
it ran off of natural gas.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that
Yeah,
car.
it
That is
it ran
weird.
off of, I don't know how they converted it cuz I'm pretty sure it had the normal 2-valve engine in it.
Right. Well, I mean, if there's an engine that has probably gone through more experimenting, it's the LS1 and probably the 2-valve 4.6.
Yeah, no kidding. But this girl would let me drive this thing around and I would just like beat the piss out of it, like way more than I would at this age. I'm like 17, 18, and it was fun.
Is that the car that made you want one of those old boats?
One of them, yeah. I mean, I've been into Caprices and those LT1B bodies for a long time, which we need to make sure we cover when we actually do the episode about that era of muscle,
Yeah.
which was supposed to be this episode, but we did not get there.
It's
That's
good.
okay. This is
It's nice.
fun.
It's nice to catch up.
Yeah, just BS a little bit. Tell some funny stories about some call outs. I did have another call out. This guy I went to high school with wants me to race his Cummins.
Oh yeah, that's right. What year is it?
I couldn't tell you. Newer.
Oh, actually, I don't even know. I don't know anything about him anyway, so I don't even know why I
It's
asked.
newer. I'm pretty sure has an auto. I forget what he said was done to it, but I don't know.
What did Lawton have? Wasn't that Noah's friend's name?
Yeah, he had a power stroke. That thing was
Yeah,
fast.
that was probably like one of the fastest things that was ever down the drag strip over there where we used to have
Oh,
meets.
for sure. That thing was fast.
Yeah, and he was on like the soft tune or something then.
I wonder whatever happened to that guy. Granted, we don't hang out with Noah super often, but
I mean, he was at every meet. Noah was, but we only saw that. I only saw that guy like that one time, I think. Maybe one other time.
and then Dale's got his truck. That was funny when I said, rip a burnout, and he does it in the Fatty's parking lot.
In the parking lot as it's like pissing oil.
And there's like, the parking lot is full.
Oh yeah, like people couldn't park in there. He's just ripping a shitty in the parking spot. Not even like in the aisle, in the parking spot.
That was hilarious.
That was good. Oh, have you heard about GM's new platform, the Altium platform?
I have not. I have no idea what that is.
Well, if you watch the commercial, they say it's going to be like...
I'm going to search it up on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the really short video. It's like the TV commercial. It's really short. That shows... And then the commercial ends... It might be this. And then the commercial ends... Okay, here. I got a link. The commercial ends by showing like the platform on the street, or like just sitting there, and then over the platform lines are drawn that show like the bodies of the cars that are going to be on it, and they go and it shows like everything, like all the GM cars. There's like a Camaro out.
I'm going to watch it right now. Oh yeah, the new logo.
Like if you go to
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. If you go to like 54 seconds and then click through and pause it real quick, you'll see like this blue line come over the platform. So it's an electric platform. Those are battery packs. And the first one looks like an SUV, like crossover type little crappy thing. And the next one,
watch
the
it right
Camaro
now.
outline. Well, just go to the end. You don't have to watch.
No,
the
I
video.
have to. Guy's standing on a chassis.
The chassis.
This guy's old. Looks like your dad with an afro.
Which guy?
The guy right at the beginning.
The afro.
What are they It looks like a gas tank. It's like made out of plastic or something.
I don't know.
That dog looks like Rocky.
Yeah, there's a horse. Vegetals.
This is a strange commercial.
It is.
Wait
So,
a minute.
If you go to the end, you'll see 3 outlines flash over the platform. You'll notice that one of them
SUV.
is the Camaro.
Yep. And then a truck.
So it's an SUV, Camaro, and then the truck.
So what I'm wondering is that supposed to be like a universal chassis that they're going to use?
That's what I'm hearing. And now I tie this into a different news story. Honda confirms that GM will build 2 electric SUVs on the Altium platform for them. One will be badged as a Honda and the other as an Acura. So GM is like, I don't know what you'd call it, licensing out or whatever, this platform to other companies like already. And I don't think we've even seen a single car on it yet, unless that's what like the new Bolt or whatever is on. But I'm mainly focused on this Camaro thing, though. Isn't the Camaro slated to die again in 2023?
Again, I have no idea. You're a lot better at keeping up with the car news than I am. I usually end up being pretty far behind on that stuff.
Well, because that looks like a picture of a Camaro.
Unless they're...
All right.
Are you getting it? Maybe they're going to debut a new electric car in the vein of a Camaro?
Thing. But like...
What if they brought back like the Nova or something? But it was like a...
I was going to say Ford made an entire new car and just called it the Mustang. If Chevy comes out with a Camaro that's only electric and looks like a regular Camaro, like... Can you imagine like how many Confederate flags are going to be rolled up and used to beat Chevy executives?
I I think it'd be cool though.
I do too. And if they did do a new Camaro, which supposedly it's dying in 2023, um, there's no way it would be only electric. There's not a chance in hell that'll happen. But that outline is a Camaro that's going over that platform. So I don't
I'm
know.
just I haven't been keeping tabs with Chevy because like I'm so bored with it lately.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I really as
they're
much
not
as I love my
doing
GMs and
anything.
my LSs, I really do think that the focus has kind of uh, sold me on trying to look more into a Mustang GT.
Right. And it's like if you want a performance car, you get a Dodge or a Ford, or you buy a Corvette.
And I have to say, looking into some of these the trade-in values for the STs are skyrocketing for some reason. The thought has
Yeah,
crossed
I
my
think
mind
I'm
once or
yeah.
twice of seeing what I could get if I traded it in for a Mustang.
Well, your best course of action there, go to a dealer and just hypothetically ask them what they would give you for your Focus. If you were buying, say, 15 to 17 Mustang GT.
I mean, I love my car, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I'm not going to end up doing it, but the thought has crossed my mind once or twice.
Right. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Um,
But yeah,
let me go back to what I said before.
anyway, haven't
The
haven't been paying much attention to the Chevy stuff recently, especially cuz I don't like how the new Camaro looks. It just looks weird to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I don't really see a whole lot of them,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's the other thing I
Like,
was going to mention.
is anyone buying these things? Yeah, I barely see any of them. Like, I know when the sixth gen came out, I saw quite a bit of those. But this 2020 facelift, I haven't really seen any of them. Probably because it's so hideously ugly.
Well, and you have to think, and this was kind of a thought that just popped into my head right now. So the initial like real muscle car phase of the 60s. It died in 74. When do you think it started roughly? 1960? 61? Or do you think it was a bit later in like
Um,
64?
oh, when it actually kicked
Yeah.
in, like we're not talking just cars.
Probably like 64.
Yeah,
GTO,
4, 5, and
Mustang,
6.
those both were
Yeah,
released in 64.
say 64, 5, and 6, and by 66, it seems like they were in it. Like the Hemi was being put into everything, and Chevy was developing their big blocks and putting those in more cars than the
So
Corvette. Yeah,
so
I'd say 60.
your first real muscle car phase is about 10 years. Now you've got this muscle car boom, which arguably started in '05, right?
Yeah, I call it the modern
So
era.
we're
Yeah.
going on 16, 17 years of this. Are we just getting
Right.
flooded with too much product?
No, I don't think so because choice is never a bad thing.
That's
Um,
true, but, well, I guess I see your point because from a technology standpoint, they're definitely advancing. Looks,
oh,
on the other
yeah,
hand,
that's right.
I would argue that
Yes.
the ones, I mean, I'm not a huge modern Camaro person, but I think the fifth and the sixth gens look way better than or no, the new one's a sixth gen, isn't it?
Yeah, do you like the pre-facelift sixth gen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even
Um,
with like with Chargers, I like the '06 era Chargers. I think they look tougher.
yeah, I either like the original, the SRT8 only, because it has the scoop and the big spoiler. I
Yeah,
like that. And then otherwise, it would have to be a new Scat Pack at the minimum because those have like the I'd say even like a wide body at the
Oh yeah,
minimum
those wide bodies do look
because
sick.
like even like a new RT with the 5.7, it just looks kind of boring. However, I like the new Challengers better. I like the ring LED lights in the back. I understand that the old ones are more reminiscent of the original ones, but I think the new ones look better. And also the ring headlights, the halos in the Challengers, I think look cool.
Yeah, they
I don't
do.
know what your opinions are. What are your opinions on halo lights in general,
I could take them or leave them.
depending on the application?
Yeah, I mean, they're not a make it or break it deal for me. They're kind of just like whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I feel you. I always tossed around the idea with my old car, especially because it had the round center fog lights. I thought LEDs would be perfect, but I never did it. But yeah, I don't know. I like LED lights in general. Like the new, like it took me a while, but I do like the new Mustang taillights,
I do too.
the tri bar.
Yeah.
I like what they did with the tri bar. I think honestly, I don't want to call them least favorite. Well, no, okay. '05 to '09 I think are the most boring,
But
but
I like those. I
yeah, they're the classic fixed red.
I like those better than the when did they change them? 2011 to the more like
2010
slanted ones.
has yeah, those are my least favorite Mustang
I
taillights since probably I don't know, Mustang
I
2.
100% agree.
Like even like the Fox body. Like I like the cheese grater on the Fox body. I love
Mhm.
those. I don't know what you think. Like you get like a white 90 or 91 GT or whatever, and it has the white cheese graters in the back. I think that's so cool.
It's just a cool like 90s touch.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, 10, 11, and 12 had I want to say the worst S197
They just
taillights.
look cheap.
People frequently, yeah, people frequently just swap on a 13, 14 onto those, which are the rings, or probably the best modern Mustang taillights in since the 60s,
I
70s.
I disagree with that. I am not crazy about those.
Really, you don't like the rings?
Yeah, I mean they're okay. I really like the newer ones, and I like the ones that your car has. I know you think they look boring, but they're a real throwback to the like everything else with those Mustangs. They're a real throwback to the original era of the Mustang.
Right, that's true. My big thing is I want to see the tri bar more, I guess, which is why I like the 2015 style for my
Yeah.
car, because you get because especially when they're lit up, the LEDs are flawless. Like all you see is the tri bar, and they look really good. But
Yeah, I really like
I don't
the
know.
15 and up. I remember when they debuted the new Mustang. That was when we were freshmen in college or whatever. I thought they
Yeah,
looked stupid. I thought it looked like an Accord or
yeah,
something.
I agree. I wasn't. I mean, I didn't think they look stupid. I was like solid, like in the middle on the car. Like I was like, it doesn't look bad, but
I
I thought the 13, 14 looked better.
I was like, they took away the edge. It doesn't have that like boxiness anymore. But then like I started seeing more of them, and like now it's one of my favorites. Like I would drive one of those S550s in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I especially like the 18 and up. Um, I didn't at first, which is weird. This is one of the bigger things I've come around on. I did not at first because the headlights kind of curved
Yep,
down.
that's what
They're
I don't like about them.
curved. And the more I saw them, the more I started to like them because it kind of looks like they're angrier. Like they modeled the fun fact. They modeled the at least the 2015 off of like a fist, like punching through the air, I think,
Really?
and also a shark, like both of those things.
I could see that.
But I like the 18 because it has the pedestal spoiler and it has quad tips from the factory on the GTs.
Yeah, that's true.
I do like me some quad tips, but no, I am not going to cut my diffuser on my car.
I like the front end on the 15 to 17s a bit more. I prefer the non-slanted headlights, but one thing they all have in common is, God, they sound good.
Yeah, those coyotes howl.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. You wonder, is that why they call it that? That's got to be why they called it that, because they quite literally do howl.
They just like, I don't know. When you think modern V8 sound, I feel like the Coyote is kind of the archetype for the newer ones anyway.
Oh, yeah, for a modern V8.
It's just like
right.
that classic V8, you know. It's got a rumble, but
Well,
it
it's not
also like
classic.
sings.
Right. It's a good modern V8 sound. And then my car has the old just fucking noise. It's just loud and screaming. Well, actually, no. It's not screaming because I redline at 65. Coyote's redline. The new one's redline at, ooh, I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's 7,500 now.
Man. Screaming.
Yeah. The Boss. Original Boss. The S197 Boss had the... I forgot what made it different. It had more power, but it made less torque. But it also revved way higher.
Are you talking about the Boss, the one that had the Boss 302 graphics? The 2012?
Yeah, the 12, 13, 14, yeah. Those are also quad exhaust from the factory, which is, in fact, different from quad tips for all you listening.
Oh, is that the one with
The dual
the
out,
cutouts?
not cutouts, but it was dual out the back, and then there are side pipes that are hidden underneath that are just for noise.
That's right. They're not like cutouts, but they have the pipes there on the side.
Yeah, they're right. They go right under the door, which is pretty cool, and that's something that I don't see really anyone ever mention or talk about. Quad exit exhaust.
I mean, are there any pros and cons to that setup? I feel like I don't know. I feel like you'd lose something.
Well, I believe, at least reading the press reviews way back when the cars were new, they said they did it for noise because there's no mufflers on the side pipes. There's only mufflers in the back.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm assuming the car is tuned for it.
Yeah, I would definitely think so, especially if it's factory.
Right.
Speaking of sharks, have you ever seen the Corvette concepts, the Mako sharks? Those things are so
I like
cool.
those. I'll look them up right now.
The Mako Shark 1 and the Mako Shark 2.
Yep. The Mako Shark 1 and 2. That's right.
I like the Mako Shark 2 more. The C3 looks very similar to the Mako Shark 2.
Right. So the Shark 1 was the C2 concept car?
I think so.
Is that right?
'Cause what's that?
Okay,
When's that from?
61.
59? Oh, 61?
Yeah, everything says it's 61. Oh yeah, it has the triple taillights in the back. Was the first year C2? Did they have 6 taillights?
I don't think they did. I don't know, actually.
Was the first year the 63 split window?
No.
What was it?
I think it was 60 or 61. I'm going to look it up right now.
I think 60 was the last year of the... Trying to type in the dark. Yeah, okay, 61. 60 was the last year of the Gen 1.
So yeah, 63 would be the first year of the C2.
Oh, you're right. Okay. 61.
The good old split window. There's a There's a typing game that I play with my kids that has one of the cars you can get in there now is called the '67 Corvette, but it's a split window. So of course, as soon as I saw that, I was
Uh,
like, incorrect information.
did you inform your kids so they wouldn't go home and tell their parents nonsense?
Of course I did.
Good, good, good. I might be in the minority in this. I am not a fan of how the C2 looks like with the headlights open. Looks kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose. C2s are not my
With the headlights
favorite. I mean,
closed.
except for the '63 split window. That's obviously like holy grail material. But
Yeah.
I
I
would
mean, I don't know.
hardly. I mean, it would be super cool to have a 427 C2 Corvette.
Yeah.
But C3 is my
I
favorite old
love the
one.
look.
C6 is my favorite modern one. Sorry,
Yeah.
did not mean to talk over
Does
you.
anyone like the C4? I don't know. It's good. I don't think anyone likes the
I have a
C4.
soft spot for the C4.
Well, I do in terms of if I want one, I can buy one for
Well,
$5,000 and then go
you had
150.
some cool
But
ones. The Callaway Corvette, the
well, I'm talking production. I mean, the
ZR1.
ZR1, the C4 ZR1. Yes, I would definitely drive a ZR1. And actually, shit, I think those are about what I paid for my car. Actually,
Is that right?
let me check
I'm going to turn the
what
light on
ZR1s are
here
going for.
because my eyes are draining
Yeah,
themselves
I
right
can't see my
now.
keyboard, and I keep mistyping. Um, what gives you the audacity? Man, yeah, you can get a ZR1 for like 25 grand.
That's slightly shocking.
Maybe I should have just got a C4 ZR1.
I think you probably made the right choice.
Yeah, I don't think I need a Corvette with a Lotus designed engine.
Probably not the greatest
That
for
just
reliability's sake, but it's definitely on my bucket list of, the hundreds of cars I would like to own.
yeah, or at least drive. Yeah, I would drive one, but then probably let's see, affordable C6 Z06 or something. But like, so okay, I was thinking about this, like the collectability of cars in general. Now that I own, I guess what you would consider a collector car that I'm driving around as a daily. I'm looking at like C6 Z06s, and which are around the same price, and it's like, honestly, bang for your buck, the C6 is probably the better car than my car. Um, but how many of those do they sell? It's almost like every other Corvette I see on the road is a Z06. So it's like, are they really going to be rare? I know it doesn't impact the value or anything or whatever, but I don't know. It's just like my internal monologue going on. It's like, well, I could have got a better car, but it's like,
No, I would agree. I definitely see S197 GT500s less frequently. I mean, neither one of them I see all the time, but those I definitely see less frequently than C6 Z06s.
right. I mean, besides a car show I was at last few weeks ago, I haven't seen a '07, '09 GT500 in about 3 years. Um,
False. You have seen one today.
in my garage. Actually, I haven't. I have not looked at the car yet today. I should
Oh,
make
you
sure it's still
haven't
there.
looked at it. Come on, Mike. I gotta
I know.
I gotta pay the registration on my car pretty soon. Yay.
Oh yeah, I just put more money into mine. I paid double because I'm trying to get rid of this interest for a car that I may have paid too much for. Then it'll be good because hopefully I'll run a 10.9 with the stock supercharger. We'll see. And if people care enough, we could perhaps I could make an Instagram and we could share media
Yeah,
and
I know. I'm
crap.
sorry that I haven't gotten on that.
Oh no, you're good. I don't think our single digit listener base is, hurting for another page to
I'm
follow and
gonna
get notifications
I'm
from.
gonna start once Ryan edits this and we can put it up. I'm gonna write like a real like juicy write up for it. Like, hey you, yeah, you, and then I'll be like, guess this question right. What thing did we mention in our podcast? And you can win a guest spot on the next show.
I mean, we could. We'd have to figure out how to record it though, because the method we use now is pretty good. It might as well stay live because it pertains to our audience.
Right. We'd have to figure out how to get
Um,
other people to join and record their audio. I mean, if it was someone like Noah or Mikey, I could just have them come here and we could like share a mic.
right.
But
Yeah. Yeah, which was easy because um, there's way less delay between us talking because when we're right next to each other, we're right there and there's no awkward delays or anything. Or when you watch me try to catch a thought, then you can come in before. So I'm not just sitting
it's
here
like
not
that
knowing what's
meme.
going on.
Have you seen the thing with it's that meme where it's from a Monsters Inc. video game and it's Sully and Roz like looking at Mike Wazowski and he's like got this look on his face and it's like the caption next to Sully and Roz is my parents and the one next to Mike is me trying to explain a song that I heard on the radio or something.
Yeah, and it's like it's the picture with his mouth like all the way at the bottom of his
Yeah.
body or something.
I'm going to try to find
Yeah,
that meme.
it was good. Oh, jeez. Man, my ass is going numb.
That's good to have in the podcast.
It is. Usually I don't sit still for this long. Usually bouncing off the walls doing stuff, but like playing the new Pokemon Snap. Pretty solid game. If you guys didn't know, I'm into video games. Old games, new games as well, but old
Dude.
games. Alex is into records.
Yes.
So, you know, I know we'll end up talking about that eventually. Or if anybody cares, go ahead, ask away.
I just sent you the template for that thing, that meme.
Oh, oh, yeah.
But dude,
It's like when you're a mechanic and you're trying to like, what sound did it make? Well, it went a little something like this, and then you do that.
so the two shops we went to, me and Mikey this weekend, not going to tell you the name of the one in Crete, even though I'm sure if someone really wanted to, they could figure out what it is, because we don't want anyone going there and buying all the Hot Wheels. But
Yep.
we went to this other toy store in where was the name of that town I saw the Maki? Crown Point. That's what it was.
Yes.
We went to this toy store there, and there weren't really a ton of Hot Wheels. It was much more in the vein. That's where I sent you the picture of that computer thing.
Oh yeah,
What
right.
was that?
Man, I don't even know. Oh, with the monitor built in,
I couldn't tell if it was built in. It was black.
the black
Yeah.
rectangle. Vectrex.
Is that hard to find?
Yes, those are pretty
They
hard to
wanted
find.
like
They're not like
$400 for it.
yeah, which is about the going price. If it was like 200, then I'd like get my ass out all the way out there and buy it. But it's about, I'd say, average going price, depending on what it came with or anything. I think it said something about like no cables or something.
Yeah, it might have. They did have some video game stuff there, but dude, you should have seen the play sets they had there. Like all these old Star Wars, G.I. Joe, like all these play sets from the 70s and 80s. They had a bunch of Transformers toys there. Dude,
those things, right? So those, all right. So I actually listened to another podcast, the CU podcast, and it's a video game podcast. But they talk about the guy who does the podcast collected toys and like figures and stuff in the '90s, and he said back then it was big, but right now it's like they're either worth 10 cents or they're like $300, and there's like no in between.
Dude, that's what I noticed with some of these prices. They had now, obviously it was original from when like the trilogy was released, but I don't know if it was like the OG Princess Leia action figure or like one from, it looked like Princess Leia in A New Hope. So I'm guessing it was like an OG Princess Leia action figure. $3,500.
Right. Holy balls. On that note, it is May 4th today.
Ah, yes, indeed it is. I had several students tell me, May the 4th be with you.
Right. All I would do is like say a Star Trek joke or something.
And May the 4th be with you all, dear listeners.
May the 4th.
Yes, but dude,
Wait.
these
Ooh, Drinko de Mayo's tomorrow.
But dude, these play sets were just insane. Like, it's so cool to me seeing stuff in old boxes like that.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it makes me cringe when I look over my Gears of War action figure set with the box that's all crunched in. Then I go on eBay and see how much I should have taken care of it.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Stuff like that's getting
I know what you mean.
expensive. They had some and another thing, I mean, this is car related here, so I'm getting back into the Hot Wheels, but I'm also a huge Tonka fan. But Tonka stuff is getting so ridiculous, especially like older stuff.
Yeah, I know. Figures, like right after my grandparents' estate sale, I used to play, like as a kid. My cousin was born in '86, so he had all of the metal ones, and those are all the ones that I played with, and now they're all gone.
I still have all my old. A lot of the farm toys I had when I was a kid were metal. The Tonka toys were not. They're still cool though, but I have all my old metal farm toys, but I just love those Tonka toys. I actually ended up buying one. I went to the Kane County Flea Market. That place is cool.
Oh yeah. Wait, when did you
Sunday.
go there? Damn, why didn't you tell me?
What do you mean?
That's like 40 minutes from me. Flea markets are like a haven for retro games.
Yeah, I saw some stuff there. I'm sorry. I should have let you know. It was just on a whim. Like, I was out at a record store in St. Charles, and the guy told me that the Kane County Flea Market was happening, which was like 2 minutes down the road.
Right.
I found a couple records there. Nothing super crazy. But I got 2 Dodge brochures. One from 67, one from 68. So I'll have to show you those next time you're over here.
Sick. Are those the ones that like don't even mention the Hemi in them?
I want to say the 68 does. I don't know if the 67 does or not.
So they're trying to keep it under wraps.
But the other thing that I got, so Mickis, did I ever show you the Tonka van that Mickis sold me?
Yeah, last time
that red
I was
one.
Over.
Yeah, that thing's cool. So at the flea market, I found it's a little smaller, but it's also Tonka. It's a green van with a pop-up camper trailer.
Well, that's pretty
It
cool.
is.
Do you know when it's from?
I'm guessing sometime in the 70s or 80s. It's still metal, except for like the components inside the pop-up are more plasticky. I want to say the only flaw is the hitch is broken, so you can't like attach the trailer to the van. I should try to figure out when it's from, but I got a really good deal on it, and I was like, with the love I have for those vans, I can't pass it up.
Right, exactly. Well, that's pretty cool.
Well, next time it happens, I'll let you know and we can go.
Yeah, I'm down. I don't know if I've ever actually been to a flea market. My buddy used to go when we were like in middle school a lot with his uncle, but it'd be like leaving at 7 a.m. on a Saturday.
Right.
And I wasn't about that, but
no, it was cool.
That,
it's huge. Like, there's so much stuff there.
Yeah, I can imagine. I want to go. I know like the days of finding, at least in my case, good retro games at flea markets on the DL are almost gone. But sometimes you catch an old lady cleaning out her
I don't
attic,
know if it
and bam,
I don't know if it happens every weekend or not. I'm gonna Google it right now. It's at the Kane County Fairgrounds on Randall.
right off of take what Farnsworth off 88 or something.
I don't know how far it is from there, because I just take 64 all the way back home.
Oh right.
Kane County Flea Market 2021. Here's the schedule.
Looks like it. Wait, does it say it doesn't start till noon? Sounds like my kind of flea market.
No, it starts sometime in the morning. June 5th and 6th is the next time it's happening. So first weekend in
Okay,
June.
yeah. Saturday 12 to 5, Sunday 7 a.m. to 4.
Yeah, we should go. It
Okay.
was dope. Sam wants to go too.
Okay, yeah, I'll have
Maybe
to see.
Chelsea will want to come with. We can have a double day to Reno at the flea market.
Oh yeah. That could work. The 5th is my mom's birthday,
Oh,
which I think is all but I think that's also the day we were
that's right.
talking about the track,
That
isn't it?
is correct.
But maybe we can get there earlier because like I have no reason to wait. It's like the faster I run my car, the faster I can start piecing together pulleys, maybe an intercooler. Yeah, it depends.
Well, if you
Intake.
want to do it all in one weekend, I mean, Byron would probably be the place because then we could just like shoot home to, Sycamore and then head out to Kane County the next day or later on that day or
We could.
whatever. I don't know.
Right, that could work.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
We will. Also, the auto show's coming back
Yes, I did see that.
in the middle of July.
Last time I went to an auto show was with, actually, the only time I've been to the auto show. It was with you and Savannah.
Oh, is that when the Bullet was there?
Yes, we saw the C7 ZR1, the Bullet, the Trackhawk, because that was new at the time. This was
Right.
2018, the 2018 auto show. God,
Yeah,
that was 3
February
years ago.
2018.
I can't even believe that.
No, right. It is nuts when I think about cars that were new. I think back and I'm like, oh, that's 8 years old. That's not new anymore. But yeah, so I'm also into baseball and like the whole Astros cheating scandal. My buddy and I, we had it all lined up last year. The Astros were going to play the Sox over the weekend, so we were going to go to one of those games and like boo the Astros as you do, and then some guy ate a bat. So now this year, I bought tickets to the Astros are playing the Sox at home. And would you guess what weekend that is happening on? Would you just want to take a wild guess?
Your anniversary?
No, it's happening the weekend that the auto show is happening.
Oh, I see. That's why you segued into that one there.
Yeah, so I bought the tickets for the game like a few weeks ago, and then today they announced the auto show was happening that same weekend. So I don't know. It's a Sunday day game. Sunday game at
day.
like 1:00. Sunday day, but I know Sunday the auto show closes early, but it's only 4 days this year, and Sunday is the 18th, and it seems like it's going until the 20th or so, or 15th to 19th. So maybe it'll be open late on that Sunday. Maybe I'll just go then. I don't know. Don't know. But yeah. So those of you in ye old Midwest or whatever, auto show is happening July 15th to the 19th, I do believe.
I've been watching all these baseball compilations on YouTube lately, like umpires getting mad, 1 in a million.
Yeah, the Wesley Apex
NBA.
videos and the baseball sports and things like that.
The what?
Wesley Apex is one of the channels. Baseball sports is another one of the channels.
I don't know the channels. They're fun compilations to watch. Or like
Right.
baseball players like getting domed by a pitch and then they want to go
Yeah.
start a fight.
Yeah. You would probably like John Boy Media on
I'm going
YouTube.
to search that up
Um,
before I forget.
yeah, he does some good breakdowns of like one-off plays or
Oh,
fights or
I've
things.
probably. Oh, Jom Boy, Jom.
John, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've been watching
I've
him for
seen a
about
few
3
videos that
years.
this guy's made. Like
Yeah.
and I saw this one, I forget the dude's name, but he was pitching like literally sub 50 mile per hour pitches.
Oh, Rizzo. Yeah, when he struck out
No, it wasn't
one of the
that
best.
guy. It was some
Oh, okay.
guy. Damn it, what's his name? Let me see real quick here.
Well, Rizzo, their first baseman, last week or a few days ago, struck out one of the best hitters in the league with like a 61
It's
mile an hour. I don't even know what you call it.
His
Fastball, the
name
curve,
is
but it's a fastball.
Williams Studio.
Oh yeah, a
He
studio.
plays for like the Twins or something. I don't know. I am
I'm
not
gonna look
a
it up.
huge baseball buff. I just like watching funny stuff on YouTube and playing Super Mega Baseball Extra Innings on Xbox.
Yeah, that is a
No
solid game.
team will
Oh
ever
yeah.
touch the sirloins.
Okay, I did see this. I forgot. I watched it. I have it watched and liked. Yeah, with 46 mile an hour fastball.
Yeah. I was like, what?
There it is. Wow, I skipped to the perfect point in the video. And okay. Haha. How about them apples? There's a new one I gotta watch. Center fielder steals ball from left fielder, a breakdown. Okay. Watch that one. I've been watching a lot of that dude in blue recently.
Yeah. His
Uh,
voice, I was just
watch.
talking about this with Mikey. His voice reminds me of Jim's.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Um,
He blew up. Like his channel had like man.
yeah.
And I see like all these car videos. It's like Mustang with exhaust revs, 10,000 views. And I'm like, what the hell have I been doing? I've been like, I've had these cars for like 8 years, and I should have started making videos a long time
He
ago.
reviewed an RB30 swapped R32. I saw that one. And
Yeah, I've just seen all the Mustang ones. That's it.
there was one where he was reviewing this 800 horsepower Subaru that this shop had built. And guess what happened when he was
Oh,
reviewing it?
okay. I watched the video last
Yeah,
night.
he blew it up after like the
Yeah.
like romping on it, making like 4
Yeah.
hits or whatever.
He calls the guy on the phone who owns the car or whatever, who owns the shop. And he's like, oh, bad news. And then the guy's like, engine or trans? And he says engine, and there's like a pause, and the guy just goes, sick. All right, we'll be there soon.
Well, that's a Subaru
Yeah,
for
my
ya.
car is rated. That's what he said. Yeah, in the video. But I mean, hopefully I can crack 800. 800 is about, well, people do mid 800s on my car before
Yeah,
saying a goodbye to a
I'm
rod.
thinking I'll probably crack 800 too.
Pretty soon. You just need a, you get a little MF
Just,
tune. You
just
probably
need
be at
a
800,
different
820.
car. Did I tell you about that dream I had where I owned a C6 ZR1?
You did, but it was in the wrong color.
Yeah, it was black. It still looked sick. It had like a drag radial setup that was exactly like what I would do on one I would own. Oh my god. Thing was, cammed like just loping like hell, and I was driving it around everywhere. Imagine my disappointment when I woke up.
Yeah. Well, did you want to go for a drive, or are you just mad?
A little of both.
Like the penguin meme where it's sitting there with his arms crossed, the claymation. Well, now I am not going to. Just wake up in bed, arms crossed.
Well, on that note, this podcast did not go anywhere we intended it to, but it was a good one.
It was a good one. You got some nice updates from us. Got some good BSing.
Got some
I don't know.
good information on call outs and whatnot.
I was gonna say that the title of the video will be all caps. Alex calls out Ricer or something. Gotta get the clickbaits in somehow.
Yes, we should do that. We should like just stretch the truth for everything. On today's episode, Mike almost ruins his car with a jack. Alex calls out a ricer, and we learn
Alex does pulls on the wrong tune.
on this episode,
Quotation,
Alex
like parentheses. Whoops.
Alex calls out a ricer. Mike almost destroys the underside of his car, and Alex does pulls on the wrong tune. Whoops.
It almost blows his engine. Whoops.
Yes, we should definitely make it a clickbait title. I am all for that.
Wow. All right. I should do that. So then if someone actually reaches 2 hours and 15 odd minutes, they can say, type banana boat in the comments
Yes.
if you get this far.
You heard it here.
I think our view retention rate is something about 8% or so. So it's like 8% of people who click on watch. I don't know if it's like a majority percentage or all of the
And you
video.
know what?
Like,
You 8%, which would include Ryan since he's editing it, we appreciate the hell out of you.
We do. You're the reason why we keep doing this.
You're the reason God made Oklahoma.
You're the reason.
For the season.
Yes. You're the reason why the view count just went up by 1.
Now we are at 9%.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. Who do I contact at YouTube to tell them our editor counts as a view? Can I please have a view?
I'm just going to go to bed with my phone playing the video each night. Sam's one of those people that sleeps like watching, she has YouTube going on in the background, like stuff that is just like background noise.
Yeah, like autoplay.
Dude, I don't see how people can do that. I'd be way too distracted.
Yeah, right. I used to do that as a kid, but I have since evolved into turning on the fan on low for noise.
See, I like having the fan on because I like how it feels like when you're under the comforter or whatever, but you still got a fan going.
Yeah.
But
right.
The point is, I should just have Sam play the videos. Like, she's not going to understand what any of this is. No offense, Sam.
Right. No, that's a good point. We have, a catered audience. It's kind of, we're still kind of finding the I guess a nice groove, but
the clickbait titles will help.
They will. Now, like we usually say, which we haven't been recently, we're not mechanics or professional drivers. So basically what you're hearing from us is just knowledge we've gained through our own experiences. So
Right.
Any of you should be able to do the same thing. Like, we were friends with people who know just vast amounts of more information than we could ever know. So don't ever feel like you're behind because you might not know what we're talking about.
Everyone's got to learn somewhere.
Exactly. Like I just many, many hours on Wikipedia. Like that's kind of what I was, what I was doing, what I still do.
YouTube for me.
Yeah, YouTube as well. I know people always give credit to Donut Media. I've never watched any of that stuff, but people say he's good at what he does. Slightly annoying, I've heard reports. But I've heard the content is informative from a non-car person perspective.
Right. Just like the, entry-level fan, the person that's trying to learn more about what's going on.
Right. And also Doug DeMuro. If you can, you don't have to be into cars to watch him.
Oh, yeah. Ryan loves Doug DeMuro.
Right. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that his video on the Bronco Sport, I don't want to speak for Ryan here, but I feel like I remember him telling me that Doug's video on the Bronco Sport was a pretty big selling point in him considering purchasing a Bronco Sport.
Exactly. I would say so. I mean, if you at least go back to some of his earlier videos, he kind of makes that point that he likes his videos being used as buying tools, which is why he reviews, more generic cars. Like today, came out with a video on the RAV4 Prime, which is, and I'm not kidding, faster than the four-cylinder Supra
No
in a
way.
straight line. Yep, the RAV4 Prime is Toyota's second fastest car, only after the six-cylinder Supra, and it's faster than the four-cylinder Supra.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. That's not
Yeah,
true. Toyota makes a quality product. Now, Mitsubishi, on the other hand, my
yeah,
dad's been considering. My dad's been considering new cars lately. I'm like, he likes the crossovers. I'm like, stay the hell away from Mitsubishi.
yeah, right. I mean, they're cheap for a reason. Like, I mean, honestly, he should get a RAV4 CRV then.
Dude,
I
that's
mean,
what
those
I've
are the
been
two.
telling him, but he wants a Nissan.
Why? Why do you want a 10-year-old car that's brand new off the lot?
Dad, if you're listening, and I've been telling him about the CVTs. I don't know if the Nissan CVTs have improved, but those are the ones you always hear
I don't think
horror
so.
stories about.
Yeah, I don't think they have. I think they've just like ironed out the kinks, but I think everything I've heard, they're still not good.
I
You lose power. You're just slower.
Well, and I agree. If I was looking for something in that class, I would 100% go with a RAV4 or a CRV. Which, I mean, the CRVs do have CVTs, or at least they did. But, you know,
Yeah, that's a good point. They did, and I don't know
RAV4s, I don't know.
the timeline. Yeah, I do not know the timeline. Those the Rav4, my aunt and uncle at least they have like a 16 Rav4, and it has a regular transmission.
Okay. But, I mean,
But
if it were
yeah,
me, I would just as soon rather have an older CRV. I was really considering those for a long time, like a first gen RAV4 or an older CRV. I almost bought a first gen RAV4. It was a 97, I want to say, but I got to looking at it a bit more and it was quite rusty and had a few other issues.
yeah, they can do that. I've also, especially for a winter car. I mean, if I can find like a manual CRV or Rav4, one of the older ones, ooh, with under 200,000
Oh
miles.
yeah.
I mean, preferably under 150, but under 200 is probably
And
fine.
especially, I would guess both of them, but those older CRVs are bulletproof.
Yeah, right.
And they get
Yeah.
pretty decent gas
Mhm.
mileage for being a four-wheel drive Cease.
Yeah, I mean they all get like low to mid 30s, some even high
Mm,
30s.
I don't know about that. 20s, but I don't know about 30s.
Um,
Not the old ones. I mean, maybe
I don't even know
highway
when they
you'd
came
push
out.
30, but I don't know if you'd be
Oh,
well into the
no,
30s.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, it's like 25 highway. Okay, 5-speed manual.
Yeah, those are sweet. The stick shift ones are a little bit pricier, but, you know, as it goes.
Yeah, well that's the thing because I want an XJ Cherokee with a 5-speed, but that's like a dream that is slowly escaping me as time goes on. Like every month, it gets further
You
away.
know what I would never buy is a two-wheel drive XJ.
Two-wheel drive Jeep of any
What is
kind,
the
even
point?
like especially that doesn't make sense. But what makes even like less? Well, no, oh yeah, that makes the least amount of sense. Yeah, I don't get it. But then you have things like the your Renegade that's front-wheel drive only. What the hell is that? You just want a Jeep badge. If you really want a Jeep badge, buy an old Wrangler.
Or a Grand Wagoneer.
Yeah, that ship has sailed,
Those are
unfortunately.
going up too.
Oh, way up. Really fast, too. Like when we were in college, they were not expensive. Now, like a good one is like low
No
20s.
way.
Yeah, or maybe high teens, but
Dude.
they're climbing up like a good like a 91 Wagoneer with a quadra track and stuff and the wood paneling. Yeah, like 20 grand
Has
at
Doug
least.
reviewed one of them yet?
Pretty sure he has. Um,
Um,
let's see.
wonder how much
Has he?
the Comanches are.
Oh, he has not done one, but he has a video called "Here's Why Old SUVs Are Shooting Up in Value," where he has an old FJ Cruiser, I think, next to a Wagoneer, and that Wagoneer is the one I would get. The white with the wood paneling. I'd also do the blue or the greenish with the wood paneling. That is a car I do like the piss colors on, like the pissed out Windville blue on the Mustang. That would look good on a Wagoneer.
We could buy a '69 Chevy
New
Camaro
Wagoneer.
drag car for $42,000. 12-point
Go back to the
harness,
drag
runs eights, has a 489, big block Chevy.
Honestly, I mean, you probably couldn't build one. I mean, if you built one, you'd probably be at around the same money anyway, or even more. So, I mean, that's for the right person. That might not be a terrible. Now, is it streetable? Still have a
No,
plate on it?
no, it's a full blown race car.
There's a chute on the back.
Yes, tubbed fuel cell.
That's a good thing with those old muscle cars, though. You can drive them on the street, like even the race
Dude,
cars, because the cop's not going to give a
There's
shit.
an '86 Grand Wagoneer for sale in Dunlap, Illinois, right now for $9,000. Now, it is
86.
not in super nice shape, but it has a 360. 4x4 works. Here's an '88 with the wood grain in Chicago, $6,000. And it's a little rusty.
$3,500. What do we got here?
Are you looking on Facebook Marketplace right now?
No, I'm on Auto Trader, which is a bad idea because
Oh,
they're either
I mean, these ones on Facebook Marketplace are far from mint, but I wouldn't call them ship boxes either.
86 for 51,000 miles, $87,000.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm not seeing those
I
kinds
don't
of
know.
prices.
91 final year, $100,000.
Oh my god. All the ones I'm seeing on here, of course, Marketplace is acting weird. They're all from the 80s. 86, 88, 85, 82.
Yeah, last year was 91, and those seem to be
It's always the
going
last
for a
year.
ton. Yeah, because those are probably the best ones. I always end up with the first year car, and they All right, here's an 87 Wagoneer and bring a trailer. Two of them. They're bidding for under 10,000 so far.
Bid on
Huh.
it. Like you didn't just buy a thing.
Man, I like this one though. It has like a dark purple with the wood grain. Ooh. 3-speed auto, 360, 135,000 miles. An Idaho title. Probably hauled potatoes around. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Ooh, what is that? 73, 71 Mustang. 10 grand. 20 hours of bidding left. Oh, Manuel. Land Yacht. The Land Yacht Edition Mustang. Huh. Well, what the hell is this? Weber 58 carburetors. $2,500 bidding. What is that? They were made in Italy, removed from a Ferrari Monza race car. Wait, are those velocity stacks? Looks like it's upside down. I don't know. Weird.
Ooh, there's an '03 Mustang Cobra closing on cars and bids. 2000 Cherokee, no reserve. Let's see what that Cobra's going for here.
I want to see what that GT500 went for.
$21,000.
Yeah, they're going
Dyno
up.
tuned to 600 horsepower. It's in Michigan. 32,000 miles.
Okay, so that GT500 went for 28.5 with 93,000 miles. I paid 34 for mine with 13,000 miles, so I think I'm about average.
Yeah.
Although this one is putting down 800 to the wheel.
Is that a good deal for that Cobra, or do you think that's too much?
Is it sold or just bidding?
Bidding. 21 grand, is that what I said?
Yeah, I'm looking at
21
it now.
grand.
Well, I would say if it's sold for 21, that'd be a fine price. It's making 600 horsepower, but honestly, if I bought a Cobra, I would want a stock one. Also, I don't understand these wheels. I don't get why people put them
I
on
think
every
those
Cobra.
multi-spoke things look ugly.
Yeah, and people put them on Cobras left and right. I mean, I don't know. If it 23 at the max, maybe 32,000 miles.
There's a 2000 Cherokee on here, 133,000 miles. The current bid is $6,100.
See, that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
That's like way more than I paid for
What are
mine.
these other two? There's two more on here that I'm curious about. One of them is the 99 Land Cruiser. Dude, 250,000 miles. This current bid on this thing is $9 grand.
Yeah, I see. Right under it, there's a Supra.
Yep, and this Oldsmobile
55.
Calais Supreme.
Oh, that's the very first one. That's VIN number one, by the way.
$6,500. Not bad.
Actually, how do we check
Can't
sold?
say I would own one, but I don't know. I'm just going off their Instagram story.
All right, I'm checking
This
sold.
is Cars
Let's
and
see.
Bids, Doug DeMuro's enthusiast car auction website, in case anyone wants to check this out.
Yes. I'm trying to see if anything here that would interest us at all. 944 Turbo, bid to 16 grand, did not sell. Damn. 2014 GT California Special, 47,000 miles, sold for 22.
Whoa.
And
That
it's
person took a bath.
solid. Yeah. Probably paid close to 40 for that. I mean, yeah. Let's see. 2010 M5 sold for under 20 grand. Oh my God, a Honda Element sold for 12 grand. What the hell is this?
Probably had a manual.
No, I'm checking. It's auto. It had 24,000 miles, but it's still auto.
For an Element.
An ugly one too, with the
Dude, all
horrible
those
like,
Elements
plastic.
are ugly.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they are, but the later ones had body colored body.
Body colored body.
Let's see. Yeah, 86 911 Turbo sold for 65.
Those things are good looking cars. Was that red one?
Yeah, I was actually, I was looking at Mercedes-Benz made an S420. Nice. Let's see. 98 Z28 sold for 8,900 auto.
That's kind of
40,000 miles.
for 40,000 miles. That's not bad.
No, it's solid. What else we got? Yeah, that Land Rover, that 92 Discovery Camel Trophy.
Yeah, didn't that thing sell for like 200 grand? 90. That's
90
right.
grand,
That's
but-
right.
But like, I'm still kind of. I mean, I get all the comments Doug is talking about. You know, how he would gladly pay 90 for something like that. I'm like,
Then do
I
it.
don't know, man. Yeah, right.
Prove it.
Let's see.
Dude, this should be
Supra Launch Edition.
that
54 grand.
black one.
No, there's another
Oh.
one. If you go down a little bit, there's a
Dude,
white
we
one.
should make this a new segment. Or just a show in general. Going on Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids and seeing what cars have sold for.
We could. Oh my god, an i8 sold for 76 grand.
Oh
How
my
the hell did
god.
it sell for that much?
Were they that much new? They had to have
Yeah, they were a
been.
lot new,
Yeah.
but they were also not good at what they did, which was be a hybrid.
Anything. All right.
Yeah.
We're at like 2.5 hours here. I feel like we probably should draw this to a close, even though we could continue talking. We don't want to lose our 9% viewer retention rate here.
All right. Oh, the lifted Roadmaster wagon.
Yeah,
There you
what did
go.
that sell
Sold
for?
10 grand. 10 grand.
Not bad.
Another Supra bid to 47 did not sell. 600 miles. Well, then you shouldn't have bought a Supra, you idiot. If you're just going to sell it. All right, 92 Subaru SVX, 8,200 bucks.
You idiot. I saw an SVX in person one time at a car wash in Belvedere.
Oh, no shit.
All right.
All right, last one. Or two more.
Okay, two more.
08 Z06, 40,000 miles, sold for 35.
That's a good price.
Yeah, the owner, whoever owned that car, probably that's pretty solid. And then 2004 Bentley Arnage T.
Whatever that is.
Now, I'm going to look up the MSRP of this car first.
And then
because
I
this
want
is
to
always
guess
a
what
fun
it
game to
sold
do.
for. This could be a
Okay,
fun game. We could
so-
take turns, like guessing what it sold for, and then
We could. All right, the Arnage T, which got 10 city, 14 highway, sold brand new for this. Now this is base, so it's a Bentley.
And is this a sedan? I'm guessing.
Yes, so this is a Bentley. So the base price is 228,990, but that's base. So it probably sold for closer to 250.
Dude, 10,
What do you-
10 city,
what do you
14
think?
highway.
Yeah. Yes. Now this one had 36,700 miles on it. Let's see. It has the Mulliner Sport package and the audiophile package, which adds like who makes the fancy ass speakers? They're in Mercedes.
Bose?
What are
I
they
don't
called?
know. Sony?
No, something else.
I don't friggin' know.
Shit, man. I don't know. Wow, 2013 Wrangler didn't sell for 16.2. Get the fuck out of here. What do you think this Bentley sold for?
Okay.
Brand new, it was 230,000 with no options, so figure around
250.
240, 250.
I'm going to guess
Yeah.
it sold on Cars and Bids for $30,000.
Oh, you're close. 42.5.
Wow. Dude, 200 grand of depreciation.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Like, Bentleys, AMGs,
McLarens.
McLarens, like the higher ones, like the 7 Series and things. I mean, all BMW, like the whole line, the whole range of. I mean, any German luxury car is like, if you buy a German luxury car new, you have fuck you money, because holy shit, what a waste of an investment. Well, I mean, I can't even say that because it's not an investment. Because
Dude.
if you actually bought a new Bentley thinking you're investing money,
And losing
Oh,
200
man, do you have something
grand
going.
on it. The cost of a house.
yeah, for one car.
Wow. I can't imagine.
So yeah, that.
I can't
Right.
imagine having 250 grand to drop on a car, period. Let alone many cars.
Yeah. That could necessitate an entire garage. All right, I got one more because I keep
If you
scrolling.
know the movie we're referencing, put it in the comments if you've made it this far.
Yes. Oh my God! Yeah, right. Okay, last one, and I'll stop scrolling because I could keep scrolling.
Oh
Forever.
yeah, we should definitely
Maybe I
make
should-
an episode out of this.
Yeah. 2021 TRX sold for 91,000.
What do they sell for new?
That's a good question. I was just about to look that up. I don't even know.
What's even the point?
Well, they're speed limited to like 100, so not
No,
much.
I mean, what's the point in buying a TRX and then turning around and selling it on Cars and Bids?
Because their dealer markups are through the nuts right now. All right, they start at 70.
No.
The one that sold had 15,000 in options, so the guy made a little money, unless he paid dealer markup, in which case he broke even, in which case, what a waste of time.
Right. And I mean, even if he did make money, if they start at 70, yeah, I guess he would have made like 6 grand at that point. What's the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Um,
That's dumb. I don't get that. But maybe that's why I'm not
and there's new
rich.
Raptor. There's new Raptor testing. I'm seeing like I haven't watched any videos, but people have been seeing a new Raptor being tested, and it's making V8 noises. Probably the engine out of the GT500, I would think.
Oh.
Supercharged 5.2, probably making north of 700 horsepower, maybe 800 in a truck. What a world we live in. The final age of the internal combustion engine, and what an age it is.
And with that,
We thank you for listening to this juggernaut of a Lot C2 podcast. I forgot what we called our podcast. I almost called it one of the ones I listened to.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry in advance, Ryan, for you listening to this for almost 3 hours.
yeah, I say if you're already at this point, it's too late. But I mean, you could probably just line the clips up and let them fly. Honestly, on this
Yeah.
one. But yeah, well, I don't even know. That was a look into both of our brains for the past almost 3 hours.
And now you know why we are the way that we are.
Yeah. And man, wow, what a podcast. Maybe we just do this the whole time. Maybe we just do this for Lot C2.
Maybe, but I feel like it helps to have
Now,
a topic.
yeah. Oh, we can back and forth. What, one week of a topic and 1 week of this, maybe? Who knows? And then we could do the cars and bids. And there's 2 weeks for them to build up sale listings and stuff like that.
Yeah, there we go.
That could be something. All right. Well, if you guys listen to this point, edit your comment that says banana boat and say with a cherry on top. And Alex destroys Ricer or something.
Preemptively.
Yeah, that'll be the yeah.
We'll figure out the
I'm
clickbait
leaning
title.
towards. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Alex calls out Ricer in all caps. We'll see.
All right.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you all for listening to this episode of Lot C2. And I've been Mike.
I've been Alex.
And we'll catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.